the stream. Welcome. Poke catching for catching Pokemon today. Happy Friday. Hope you're doing awesome. Sorry about the ads. I don't know why there's like 5 minutes of ads. Oh, I think we can snooze it. Driving me nuts. But yeah. Anyway, welcome to the stream. Happy Friday. Cheers, everyone. I got the gang here with me. Let me go grab them, and we'll get started with some golf with your enemies tonight. Hi, everyone. We are live.
Yeah.
What up?
For what it is, it's pretty good. What's up, live people?
Leftover curry. Ooh, curry sounds yummy.
I am here to entertain. No, you're not.
I have sun chips. That's what these are.
Something of it.
Woo! Welcome, Momo. Yes, poke catch,
Are
guys.
those spicy? Some chips? Or...
No, these are just harvest cheddar.
I thought
That'd be
ours
good
was
if they were
narrow
spicy.
at first. I couldn't
Do
read
they
it.
have like salsa one?
Actually. Yeah, the salsa
I was
is
gonna say I haven't had those. I need to try those.
they're really good. They're not really super spicy, but they are a little bit.
I probably like them better.
See when you showed your snacks there, I was like, I can't let this one get away with it. Like, I had the leftover curry of
Show
my
your
meal,
snacks,
and I
too.
was like, I'm gonna definitely show my snacks.
No one caught the Pokemon? Rude. Thank you so much for that sub, Michigan. Thank you.
18 months.
Let's see if I got my hype commands where I can remember where I can get to them. Yeah. There we go. Get some hype in chat. Thank you so much. Thank you. 18 months is a long time. I'm here now. You can end peacefully. I just started. Not getting that lucky. Also, I have your favorite drink tonight, so I'm going to tease you and tempt you with it tonight.
You got any
Your
orange?
fave. Hype.
I want to put an orange slice in there.
Just
So
letting
good.
you know that your kid is.
Oh, I was thinking that. Oh, never mind. I'm so silly. I think it was telling me earlier that ads were starting in 5 minutes. Not that it had 5 minutes of ads.
Oh my god, no.
I
I
know.
was confused. I was like, what?
So confused. I was waiting for them to end before I started talking. So I waited for them to start before I started talking. It's Friday. I don't feel like drinking, so joke's on you. That's fair. Light up ears. Got it. That's fair, artist. Let's see.
Seriously, you need an orange with that blue moon. It's gonna be good.
I know.
With Blue Moon is the trick.
Orange slices are for weaklings. I don't have any orange slices today. I do like it with it.
I'm not saying they're for weaklings. I'm just saying it makes it. It's like putting a lime in a Corona. You know?
Yeah,
Yeah, it's kind
It
of
enhances.
it does enhance it.
It doesn't make you weak.
Instantly weak. Instantly. So weird.
Ordinarily,
They give you the
I would say
shakes.
that if I ever ordered a Blue Moon, I wouldn't want a cocktail. But
That said, I would never order a blue moon in the first place, but sure.
If you need one to make the beer better, then yes, it does.
Did you not just hear? I drink PBR. Yeah. I don't need nothing to make my beer taste better.
I'm sure.
Oh, no.
I just like beer.
Okay, sorry. I didn't
Weak.
mean to start a fight.
Well, flip.
Hi, fight! Get him up!
I'm sure all of you know the reason why they put lime in Corona, don't you?
No,
You should, because it makes
love
the
beer.
smoky beer taste better. Yes.
No, it's not just that. So,
some people think it's weird when a woman likes a beer.
a Mexican beer.
Some people what?
The
I think it's weird when a girl likes a beer. I feel like you're supposed to like
And it's not
you're
weird at all.
supposed to like fruity drinks and not beers or wine. Like
You're
what?
supposed to have your high heels on when you're.
I gotta turn on the music. It's too loud.
The reason they put the lime in the Corona is because it stops flies and stuff and mosquitoes and stuff like that from going into your beer, because it it makes the thing froth up and create loads of bubbles, so it stops the beer stops the flies from going into your
Look,
beer.
it's
That's
totally fine that I drink
you can
apple
put it-
teas.
But it does make it a little better.
Yeah, it tastes good as well.
Notice the kappa. Jeez.
It's normal for women to like beer here.
Well, I'm just saying, like, I think it's. good
I
beer.
like it.
Yo, they also salt their beer down there in Mexico. They put salt in it. It's weird.
And it's
So you get
tequila.
extra dehydrated.
Exactly. Yeah.
What
Yeah.
do you mean?
drunk
I'm eating
quicker, I
salty
guess.
snacks with it, or don't people put like salty peanuts in their beer
Yeah,
or
but
something?
literally, they put salt in the beer.
Here's something for you. See when
There's
you've
so
got,
many
like,
options. Who cares what you
tequila,
like? Just
right?
drink it, and the people who don't care will party with
There's-
you, and the people who do don't matter. Correct.
There's a tequila you can get that's got like either an amputated finger or a toe or something
It's
like
a
that.
toe,
Is it a toe?
and it's only at certain bars.
Yeah. And also, do they not?
Alright, I'm
just do
gonna
that
hit
with
start. Momo, are you playing golf or are you
Rabbit
sitting?
as well?
She's fine, but it's,
Which one is this?
Golf with your friends. You don't have to play.
No,
Optional.
which map?
It's
Forest.
right now.
Yeah.
Okay, no, I'll skip this one for now.
But you don't like forest? Forest?
No, she don't
No,
want to get
it's
lost.
I wanna play one of the new ones if I play, and not
Oh,
the
okay.
one that
Okay.
everybody has played like a million times.
You want to do bouncy house next after we warm up?
Sure.
After Aiden's taken a couple of wins, you mean? Oh, just better limber up for this one.
You
It's
can
still,
limber up for
I'm
golf with
still,
friends. I love it.
how do you
Well,
say?
you know, it's a different.
Wait,
golf
whoa,
reference.
whoa, whoa, whoa! Oh, it's custom, I guess. Sure.
Yes.
Do you have collision on?
Should be.
Yeah, probably.
Fuck.
I'm super
Oh, I
rusty.
screwed up, didn't I? Oh,
I
thank
did
you for
too.
that little tap, lady.
I should be getting hole in one. every
Oh, I
time.
was gonna,
Lady is glowing.
I was gonna put you in. You could have sat there. I like playing pool.
Am I overshooting it here?
Did I?
Might be.
I'm absolutely.
Oh,
so-
somebody hit me and put me off course. It
Wasn't
Ugly
me.
Lady.
Totally.
Oh,
I got a hole in one. No, I got a hole in one, so I didn't hit anybody.
Nah, somebody hit me.
You know what?
I didn't hit anything.
It's alright. I still care for y'all.
I'm disappointed in myself.
Come on.
Oh,
Get in the hole.
I messed up.
Get in the hole.
Sorry, I was waiting on my DoorDash to go.
Oh, I messed up again. No, no, no.
I just suck at this game apparently.
Part 2. This is one that I got a hole in one on last time. I don't know what I did this time.
I might be alright. I'm like, see in this game, I might be alright up until the last hole. And then I am
Oh.
absolute.
I'm gonna go down the hole.
The last
Down
hole
the hole.
Elevator go up.
just sucks it right out me.
Careful. Phrasing.
I don't
I
know
mean-
words.
Like, the
I never said you meant anything.
I'm fucking staying quiet on this one. I've tried 2 places in 3 holes.
Wow.
That sounds like a personal problem.
It really is. Oh. Fucking rimmed it.
Oh, God damn it.
Oh, I forgot I'm wearing pancakes.
Yeah.
Nice.
Oh,
The glowing mushrooms.
whoa. Pew.
Oh, I thought you were going backwards for a second. I thought you were at the start. I'm like, why are you going that way?
Go the
I
wrong
need-
way on purpose. Let me be.
I'm just doing what I do.
I'm gonna step up my game.
Okay, somebody went to the wrong course. Whoa, lady.
That's
I don't
all
know
that.
what happened there?
I have no idea.
It was
Now I'm
wild.
just waiting
You
for someone
jumped
to
up
touch me.
and fell on me, and
Yeah.
just a
Whoa.
little touch.
And I accidentally counted that as 3 because I accidentally nudged it. Dang it. I'm not gonna be in the lead
no.
anymore.
Oh,
Hey,
fucker!
you too. What did you do?
You guys need to fight actually in real life right now.
Dude, that's gloves off. Let's go.
Get gloves off.
Fuck, man.
always forget
I'm
about this
hitting-
one.
Too hard.
I always hit too soft, and then I hit
Me
way
too.
too hard.
And then I hit
So
somebody.
many jokes there. Sorry.
Whoa,
I still hit somebody.
Prince, you should have been in there. What happened? You were rattling around and everything. Why did you jump?
Michigan
You could have
showing
missed.
off. He's showing off. Is what he's
Yeah,
doing.
when I
Two and
get
a half.
when I get into the hole, I like to
Oops,
do
that was a
things.
little rough.
He likes to
Sorry.
dive in.
Like just splash him out.
Oh, this one always gets me.
I think there's
Yawn.
only two.
Oh yeah, I went way hard on that. Jesus.
Two it is. And you jump just before the fucking.
I think this one's like half an E, isn't it?
It's two.
This is actually the worst. Worst.
You
I've
were pretty
played.
close.
Worst.
Oh, what did I do?
Mm-hmm.
Owie. 5 strokes on a par 2.
Hey,
I wasn't ready yet. It's okay.
okay, I am not.
Oh, I ran into somebody.
I leave.
No.
I leave for
Okay.
3 weeks and I can't play.
Mm-hmm.
Hold on. You played while we were here,
Yeah, I was very intoxicated.
and
And
How is that different from anything else?
it was DC.
Wow. Wow.
No, I just.
Mm,
No, not wow. Wow.
dang.
Whoa.
Come on. Go on.
Oh, is this is the one where you gotta go like so far?
I got my hole in one.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh,
Congratulations.
I ended up on the wrong course.
Yeah.
Into the next hole.
If you get a hole in one on the next hole, I think it still counts.
Probably.
Oh no! Don't end up in that hole. No, you don't.
Wrong hole. There's 2 holes. That's the wrong hole.
No, the back door. Not the
Sorry.
back door, the front door.
I found it.
Goodbye.
I found it. It took me some time. I found it.
Bye.
Like it only took 1 extra stroke. Okay.
No
Hey,
boy.
that's impressive though.
Fucking shit.
I
No!
want candy. Ooh, is that a hole in one?
You didn't get a hole in one in
I
that.
did.
How the fuck did you get a hole in one in that?
Fucking perfect timing, my man.
Well,
He's actually been playing this game 24/7. So
It was perfect. I can't even
Mhm.
explain.
it was just super
Watch it back.
way.
You'll be able to see it tomorrow. Don't worry.
Yeah.
Or whenever she posts it.
Mm. I'm behind on posting. I've got like 2
Sorry, I
other
didn't
streams
mean
to
say
post.
tomorrow. I wasn't
No,
trying to push
no,
you.
sometimes it is.
Not you. Yeah.
When I get to it.
Okay, lady, I'm gonna actually fight you in real life.
Oh,
But you can actually watch it on
No, I
Twitch,
am.
like you can watch it on Twitch like right
No.
away.
got my hole
Yeah.
in one.
Almost.
Aiden.
almost got my hole in one, but
I would have.
It's just for those that prefer to watch it on YouTube, sometimes they have to wait.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, she nailed it. Jump.
nah, you did what I did. Yeah, you got a par.
I'm
If you
close.
kept on jumping,
No,
you
yeah,
would have got it.
yeah. Is that a part? Yes.
No,
Maybe.
jumping doesn't increase your momentum.
I thought it did.
No. Oh, I always get confused on this one. Where? Oh, it's over there. Okay. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Lady.
And I messed up.
You asshole.
Ladies first. It wasn't me.
I already got you.
No, I didn't give it enough heat.
You gotta do half a knee at least.
I know, terrible.
Yeah, like
Dash,
you
Nico,
had-
Nico, Nee. Welcome, Dash.
Catching up on you, Missy.
I don't
Speaking
think
of
I made
half a
any
knee,
good
I think
knee.
that got Rose invested in the idea of the gamer home.
yeah.
Nice.
We'll all be 70 and have good jet skis.
Jet skis.
Yeah,
Sounds
fun.
dangerous.
There.
here at 70, I'll fucking go on a jet ski. Live life.
Oh man. That pucker.
Sally ran out of power, so I won't be playing tonight. Maybe next time, guys. No worries, Tank.
No.
Take care, man.
Tank, I don't want excuses. I want solutions.
That was like all over the place.
Yeah, I'm not sure what you were doing there.
Yeah, I don't know.
Going
You can
backwards.
still get in. It's good.
Trying to go backwards to confuse you.
I think I'm first now. Am I first?
You trying to trick me.
Oh,
This one I'm
Don't
always
go
terrible at this one.
backwards.
It's either perfect or it's not.
looks like we're all bunched
Look
up.
at all of us. We did the exact same thing.
Is it me?
I didn't realize someone was in front of me.
I think it's
Somebody's
me.
on top of me, I think.
I think it's
Oh,
me.
I'm in the
We're
back.
all on
Yeah.
top of each other, didn't we?
You need to go first, Streams.
I'm in the back. Everybody's gonna go before me.
Hold on, let me.
I messed up my albatross.
Fuck you, little mouse, 'cause I'm an albatross.
Have fun, folks. Thank you, Tank. Enjoy. Have a good evening.
Oh no.
Sponge.
Oh.
Oh no! Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Hey,
Two
I caught the Pokemon. I was the only one that attempted it, and I still caught it.
Are we calling this joint top? What? We going full? Is it full?
Sometimes.
Whatever your heart desires.
It really isn't.
Ah,
Yeah.
motherfucker.
Yeah.
Wahoo. No, I'm not going back.
want all my
Into on
food.
a
I
five.
wasn't hungry until stream started. Now I'm hungry. What is with that?
Isn't that always the way it happens?
Yeah, I was like, I'm not hungry at all. Stream starts, I'm hungry.
Oh. Lady over here playing pool. I think she's doing it on purpose.
It seems like Prince is having a hard time right now. For sure.
Oh
Wow.
my,
Let's
so it's
go.
fine.
Wow.
Are you-
Where are you going?
Where you going there, bud?
Going out for a rip?
Totally. Bye.
Wow. He just went straight back down. Oh, no, don't jump.
I should have gone for a drink.
Like Michigan?
Finally got it, bud.
Right?
You ran away, you
I
abandoned
almost
ship.
had it, and then I like
Also-
went over the wall.
Lady, I thought we were besties. How dare you?
Who the fuck said that?
I don't know.
You think?
How
Alright.
did you get in two?
Oh yeah, this one.
Oh boy.
Ah, fuck.
Are you kidding me?
Fucking roll it on in.
No, I'm gonna sit there until somebody pushes me in. Fuck that shit.
You are
Oh,
in.
no, you got it in one.
See?
Fucking.
He was like right on the very edge where it looked
Oh.
like he was inside, but he wasn't.
Oh, on my screen it looked like he was in.
I'll be right back.
He was inside the hole for me, but he wasn't actually in it.
Hmm.
I could see his name still.
It's a common misunderstanding.
That's what she said.
Where is it? Where is it? Hi. What?
Ah,
Get in there.
I read
Get in
it.
there.
Yes, we do. Kimono in yet? No, you're not.
Yeah,
Yeah, she is.
Oh, two. Fuck.
I made it.
Come on, she's winning the.
Dag
We're waiting on
Oh.
Mr. Splints. Pretended to go grab more snacks. Oh, he's back.
alcohol.
Snacks are us. On that
Mm,
note,
I'm not
You got
drinking
time?
fast
It's gonna
enough.
take me a minute
Cheers.
to get in this one.
Stanjava.
I'm not very good at this one.
Skull.
So,
Toast.
True.
Oh, I'm not. Oh, I thought you were gonna get a whole one. Oh, I'm not good at this. And then,
Oh, I'm usually not good
I'm
at
not
that.
good, but I got a hole in one, bro.
damn, Damn, you went right in.
You still have time though, because the next hole takes a while.
Well, if Lady gets
I'm
a
terrible
10,
at this one.
Lady, if you
I
get
know.
a 10,
I'm like, all right, let's
That's
shoot for
the-
10 strokes on this one.
This is the one that always gets me.
if
Always.
you
have to,
time
like,
it right,
beat it
you win. You win.
A couple of times, and then I'm like, oh, okay, that's what it is.
I
You
just
think
don't over.
you think I would be better at this one? I've played it friggin' umpteen times, but nah.
I've actually gotten worse.
I can't do it. I cannot do this hole. At all.
Atoll?
Dude, courage is what you need.
There ain't no fucking courage about it. I can't. Oh, here we go.
Ooh, 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 I might get par.
Damn.
Yeah, bud.
Oh, I definitely didn't.
Oh, no. No.
Yeah, when you get creamed by the log, it's over. Like, it's so
Oh,
hard to get out of
no.
that.
Come on, like, use your words better.
Oh, shit.
Excuse me? Are you calling phrasing on me?
Yeah. If you cream,
Okay.
No!
Please let me in.
Dang it.
Oh.
Oh, jeez.
Hey, by the way, thank you, lady, for tapping me in on that last one.
I only got 2 on that. How?
I lost track of my strokes, and I was super close to
oh,
winning.
you're
Good
one.
question.
Kimono.
Should have been 3.
She destroyed
Fan
us.
her already.
How
She,
did you do
Lady
it?
almost had 69.
mhm.
I got 2 on a number of 5 pars. Like, I thought I was doing pretty good.
Like,
Alright, we're gonna do like Bouncy Castle. That way if Momo wants to
the
join.
only hole I struggle with. The only hole I struggle with.
I don't know if you've done
goodness.
Bouncy Castle, have you?
I
I'm not sure.
think I played it once and I'm.
Is that the one that's got the jelly baby things? No? Or is that the sweetie ones?
Mm. You're talking about the candy course.
Oh, okay,
It's like the kids' playhouse.
What?
Let's play. Yeah, a new course. A course none of us have played. Let's do that.
I've played all of them.
I used to read.
One of the
Really...
Haggie's name is Cleo.
No, Siri, I
I
wasn't
don't
talking
remember
to
what
you.
the other one is named.
Shut up.
But I know the
Sorry,
one
I was talking to Siri, not you.
That'd be funny. Like, shit.
Dude, she just out of nowhere, like, SIRI decided that she wanted to start listening to me. And I was like, no, I didn't say anything to you.
Yeah,
She does that to me sometimes.
Shut the fuck up, Siri.
She's like, I couldn't find anything on that, but here's some web results. And I'm like, yeah.
I love how the children just keep walking back and forth.
I know.
Right?
They really want to be involved.
It's like a train.
Oh.
People just went
I'm
by.
putting my shirt.
Prince.
Oh, it's this one.
I've,
That's
I've
fun.
never played this.
I don't even
Yeah,
know
you
where
have.
the hole is. Oh, there it is.
I think you're
What?
usually obliterated by now.
Oh,
though.
jeez.
Am I?
Oh, I hit it way too hard, didn't I?
Likey, welcome, welcome.
I don't
Wiki, 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 wiki.
This, never mind.
Yeah, we've played this one before. I kind of
yeah, we
recognize
did.
it.
Momo's got the turkey head goblin thing on
Yep, yep.
Mhm.
the
Oh, is
pigeon.
that what that is?
Yeah, I don't want it anymore, but I was too late changing it.
As
You just
Lady
want to
said,
gobble, 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 gobble.
I would
Yeah, I'm
imagine
scaring
I'm
myself with
pretty
this one.
Hammered by this point.
Yeah. It was hilarious when they first came out and everybody had it on, but
Whoa!
Look at all
I
those
messed that one up
ones.
bad.
Mm. And
Everybody
Mono
got
would
one,
do-
one.
Hey, that's new on
Yeah.
top right, isn't it?
Yes, it is. Where it tells you what they got. I think that is.
Yeah,
kinda
when
new.
it tells you what others like
Yeah.
did.
It's been there for a little bit. I just don't know how long.
Since they added the teams.
Have I
Mm.
played
Ah.
this before?
Prince?
Oh, that's right,
Oh,
we
he's,
played
he's
teams
doing things.
once.
So.
That went poorly, didn't it? When we
What?
played teams.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, we all got so
We
mad
got a
at each
minute
other.
36. Yeah, that's a long
Fucking-
time.
You got that mad.
I wouldn't say we were getting mad at each other, but it was
No, we
definitely
started
frustrating.
throwing shit. and
What are you
I actually
doing? Get in the
unfriend-
hole!
I unfriend Lady at that point. It was crazy.
Why did it come back?
I think it's because we were playing on that one course
Probably
with the
for good
kitchen
reason,
in
though.
it. I think that's why we got
Yeah.
upset. Yeah.
Maybe.
That one's terrible. Like, if you don't know what you're doing, you're gonna mess
What
it
is
up.
this?
I was so dumb.
Where's the hole?
Oh, so
Yeah.
close to a hole in one.
That's a universal question.
Oh, it's
What
over
the
there.
fuck?
Okay.
Where do you
It's around the
go?
corner. Watch out for the giant lipstick looking things.
Don't fool you,
Don't let the
right?
dog penis get you.
Yeah, the dog.
Oh.
Right.
That's a
I'll
professional.
say that, but you know.
No, that's a professional. That's what professional call it.
We rocket pocket.
I keep
Oh,
forgetting.
Red Rocket.
Momo, you were so close. You almost got right in.
I keep
I did.
forgetting
No.
Mono's
Mhm.
ball.
Oh,
Dude,
shenanigans on that one.
Anyway.
She wanted a challenging course. You're welcome.
Here it is.
Thank you.
Story of your life, am I right? Hey.
Oh my goodness! What?
Whee! Oh
What?
fuck!
Oh fuck yeah, bud!
yeah.
This one's crazy.
I don't know what to do.
Mhm.
I think I have to go.
I
Back
think
corner.
I'm gonna do a little bit
Thank you,
of this.
Whoever that was.
Oh no, it didn't work out.
Jeez.
Could have been
This way,
worse. Could have been worse.
You were nowhere close to me and you still booped me. That's weird.
Nailed it.
Where is the?
Over there in the corner where
Grab me
James
one,
is.
too?
Big finger.
With the hand pointing down.
Point the big finger.
What did I just
Thanks,
do?
baby.
Oh, what's this? Is this 2?
Woo!
I think it's 2.
Woo!
I'm gonna go
Yeah, I
two
can't
and
move.
just under 2.5.
Oh jeez.
Oh, go
I'm waiting on Splints and Kimono.
close to 3.
Part 4 and I
Close
freaked
to
it up.
3. That's all I'm saying. Close to 3.
No, I'm waiting on Mono.
How am I supposed to do this now?
Yay!
Oh, come on. Where am I going?
I mean,
Oh,
I'm
no.
You can do it.
here. I'm here giving advice and everything. You know what I mean? I can.
Yes,
I'm
I did
helping you.
listen to your.
I'm helping you. Help me. Help us. You know what I mean, I'm not.
There
I'm
you
only
go,
here for one
Splints.
night.
That's
Davis.
the whole Splints.
I was about to get a 10.
Offbeat place, welcome.
Hello. That one was gonna get me. I really thought it would. Oh, this is one of those, huh?
Oh boy.
Welcome to the stream.
Fucking.
Welcome, welcome. Yeah, this one's a bit challenging. My opinion.
Excuse me.
Come on.
Momo, please hold
Yeah.
up. Please hold up. I'm ahead of you. Please hold up.
Yeah.
Oh,
No, I'm
Wait.
ahead of you in my screen.
Not on
I'm gonna
mine.
hit up all of you.
I don't know. I'm
Oh,
sorry.
I don't
This
know what
doesn't
to
work.
do.
Absolute.
Oh god.
Oh, I went too far. Anyways,
See?
Momo,
I
you
was
should be
ahead of
good.
you. Ah, jeez, stop!
Wait, if you were ahead of me, I would have hit. Oh, fuck.
Let's just go flying. I hate
go-
this one.
Oh, too fast.
If I was ahead of you, I would have hit you. Or no, if you were ahead of me, I would
No!
have hit you.
That
How many
did
times
not
am I gonna go
work.
by
Yeah,
the dang
weird.
hole?
Oh
I
no.
can't even see it anymore.
A clash of the balls.
I have no comment.
Clash of the balls, you might say.
Ah,
what did I
rolled
hit?
right over top of it.
It was weird.
Oh.
Sometimes it shows up weird. I don't know.
Ball clashers.
It's okay. Oh, are
That
you
was
kidding
not
me?
my hole.
That's what Lady in
Are you
Splinter.
kidding me?
No. A little bit less than what you done there, Prince. You'll have it.
Oh.
Where's Prince?
There we go.
Yeah.
Dude, this wasn't even that the course is
survived.
hard. It's just that
Yes,
the
welcome
hole
to the
didn't
stream,
agree
guys.
with
Welcome to
me.
Golf with Friends. I'm hanging
Oh,
out on
okay.
community night, and we're playing some golf. We get a little wild
Played this
crazy.
shit.
Welcome,
Have
welcome.
we?
Yes,
No,
you
we
have.
get normal.
We have. We definitely have. However, the hole.
Hygies
doesn't
are
agree.
mad as ever. Oh, Splints was asking their names earlier. If you don't mind sharing, he wanted
Oh,
to know
yeah.
what your Hygies
There's
names
only
were.
one named Sonic.
No, neither of them are named Sonic.
No.
Oh, jeez, no!
I'm too much of an idiot gamer for that to be a. Whoa!
Sorry.
I hit the wrong thing.
Shame.
Mm.
Shame.
I should have got it in one.
Oh, that was no
I
power
should have
at
got
all.
on one as well, but someone hit me.
Oh, whoa! I didn't realize there was no
Joe,
wall
Joe.
there.
No, I thought
Oh,
people,
okay.
I thought you like it when people hit you. Sorry.
Well, not that way.
Oh, shiza.
What the fuck?
Now I gotta jump over the thing?
Oh my.
One more
Oh,
time.
couldn't do it. It's a par 2 and I'm on my 5th shot. That's fantastic.
Safe word kumquat, by the way, Joe. Just so you know.
Oh, that's so
what
special,
now?
isn't it?
What did you say? I didn't catch it.
Yep.
Okay, cool. So it was nothing important.
I'm doing pretty bad this time.
only one behind
Oh
you.
no! Look out for all the hot dogs.
Aim hot dogs.
Hot dog.
Meow.
Definitely not the way to go.
Why is it over
Diggity
there?
dog, diggity boom. What you do to me? It's so new to me.
Oh, stable.
Take it.
Oh no, water.
Oh, I went too hard.
Doesn't work.
I went so hard.
I'll just try catching it.
Doesn't even matter. Oh, sorry.
Wow, that kind
Permanent
of
moody teenagers with Quill.
Oh, it's okay. It's down
No, it's
below
actually
anyway.
good. It freaked
Down
me
below
out too.
anyway.
Yeah.
Oh, Dream, I
I
hit
got-
you.
I got a snotter.
No! I have
Oh,
See, none of this
Come on.
happened to me.
come on, O'Neilly, had it.
Too much heat.
Got him.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Michigan, I'm two off you now.
Dude, 4 and
Mhm.
5 messed
Oh
my
my
day
Michigan's
up
real.
Monday.
This messes me up. Out of all of them, it's this.
Did I just get a hole in one? I did. So
Good
You did.
grief.
And it messes me. How many bars did you do?
I don't remember.
Oh,
Oh, no.
Maybe, enough to go
Maybe
up.
1.3.
That's
Still
it?
moving though, so I don't know. Maybe I'll
Yeah,
just
but the
stick with
thing
it
is,
and
I
see
went
what
a
happens.
little bit right of the flag because of the one thing that, shoved me that way. So I went right of the flag, and then it
Oh, no.
Ooh, look at that. Not a par.
Hmm.
Not a.
You can't go
hole-in-one,
direct.
Oh,
not a birdie.
Oh, thanks, Mono.
You're welcome.
Honestly, embrace the ring of speed.
Patchies.
Oh, that's what I used. That ring.
Don't you
I'm
forget.
sorry. I didn't mean
I
to.
missed it.
Me and Momo are just taking
I
turns
got on
and.
my kryptonite.
You're
Yes,
all
yeah.
bouncing me.
Oh, I can get this.
Oh, so you just
Momo-
let the ring help you. I always try to overjump the ring.
No,
Well,
I
sometimes you
used
can
it to
let
help
go.
me. Yeah,
Sometimes you can let it go.
like I said.
Let
I
it
went
help
little-
you.
Yeah, I went to the right. of
1.3 and let the ring move you.
Let it flow. I don't know.
Perfect.
You use it with you, not against.
Right. I'm scared of it and I jump it.
No,
But
I
1.3 and slightly to the right did it.
I did it perfectly, as in I used it.
You're the pro, not me.
Ain't no pro.
What the fuck?
Cheers.
Cheers.
Skull.
Damn.
Lee jump.
Mm.
Oh, lady. You're in my previous.
I'm
ones.
really not happy with that performance.
I'm okay with
There's
losing
water.
this. This is
Oh,
fine.
wow,
I'm being an
this
In the
asshole.
hole,
this
in the
time.
hole, in the hole. Hold
This
on.
one's
Full blast.
Got you.
Straight down the center.
Is it a taxi?
Got it.
And hope. Smidgen off from a hole in one. And then I messed it up, so even more. Oh well.
What tickles?
Your lower back hurts? No!
Ooh, part 2 on this one, really?
Lady!
The lady screwed up.
Totally done that on purpose. And again! Fucking such a dick. Such a fucking dick. Had at least a little
Hi,
bit.
chat.
A slither of a reputation to uphold.
Y'all, welcome, Firestorm. Are you gonna play with us?
Such a fucking arsehole.
I'm on my
an
Linux
asshole.
machine. It will not run on this.
You're a fucking
Oh,
dick.
dang.
I am watching this. I am watching your stream though.
Oh, sweet.
You just need to
I don't know if it would run on this actually.
tell me that
That's a
you
great
will.
question. Hold on. I don't have a dedicated. There's no dedicated GPU on this machine.
Okay, that might be a problem.
I'll made it check in before I though. did.
Fun story,
But it
actually.
does
Now
run
I'm
on
curious,
Steam Deck,
artist.
So I promise
Yeah.
you, it'll run on Linux.
Yeah,
curious,
I'm sure. Yeah,
artist.
what I meant more was that I'm,
This machine.
you know,
Yeah.
yeah.
Gotcha.
I'll try it.
Ooh, I'm climbing the ladder. Look at me.
Where are we going with this?
Way over there.
Straight
Some
in the
people
hole.
can go straight ahead and have luck, and I
I didn't know what I was
excuse me.
doing. I just went
Beautiful.
Nope.
You're
I never have any luck straight ahead, so I always go right or left.
I don't
That's
know what I
probably
just
smart.
did.
I'm gonna do it that way.
hello.
Oh, I jumped over it. I jumped over it. Okay.
Nope, that was my
So
second
But
try.
that was a
Do that
lot
again.
smarter to do that way.
It's like slightly less than full yeet, but also you gotta jump at the right time and then the right. Oh no, backwards.
I took the safe way.
No.
Yeah, I have never had any luck with the
Now
balloon
I'm
thing.
stuck in an
There's
infinite
siblings,
loop of
but when they were ready to
No.
give away, I
Y'all
got
see
my
this?
boy and my brother's girlfriend at the time got the girl.
You see
She ended
this?
up not wanting the girl hedgie after like 2 or 3 years,
Okay,
so I
that was
took her
Oh,
in
what?
and reintroduced the
Great.
siblings under careful observation. Oh, that's so sweet. So they're siblings, but you have to keep them separated.
Yeah, we keep them separated.
We both did the same thing.
I know, right?
Yeah.
How was the? How did you get past that?
I went a different way.
Go left or
Just
right.
Yeah,
Don't
take
go
an exit.
straight.
Dude, you should
Yeah,
just
take an
go
exit.
left or right, because I got it in 2 shots when I finally went left.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Pretty close to. where
Don't
you
go
need to be.
straight. Don't go straight.
Never be straight, dude.
Go to
Be,
the right.
like,
Go down the ramp.
directional.
No, go down the ramp. Go
I
down the
took
ramp.
exit 401, and I was able to get there.
Go down the ramp to your right.
I'm trying.
Stop bouncing. Go right. There you go.
Wow, she had it for 2 to 3 years before she realized she wasn't okay. Yeah.
Because I already had a little. It had a little. I
Oh,
already had a little litter. Oh
That's
no.
wild. So they were from a litter, but got separated. Okay.
My timing's so off. Cool. I don't mind that.
Wow, that put me up another spot. Nice. Oh my
I looked up
goodness.
there.
What? What?
Oh no!
The corner.
Hit it wrong.
Hit the corner.
Oh.
And young.
No. Oh no.
Wait, yeah.
There
Oh
you go.
no. Stop. Stop.
That.
Stop in the name of love.
Oh,
Then
I
all you
remember.
break
Then I
Oh, can I
remember.
get some air? Can I get some air? Oh.
Boom.
no.
Oh, too far.
1st of November. Oh.
Oh.
Is
Why?
bugger.
Ah.
Why would you do that?
But why?
Yes, because
What?
no
On
one
my
wants
map is
7
so
hedgehogs.
Oh,
All
really?
the other
Enough speed to
siblings
get over there.
either
And
were
it
given
didn't-
away
No.
or
No.
didn't make it. Aww.
Such
A lot of hedgies.
Oh God, what is going on?
Everything.
I'm not halfway downloaded.
This sucks.
Fuck
Sweet.
yeah.
I finally made it somewhere.
Yes,
I don't
please.
know if
Getting
it was
the
good
drink
enough,
on.
but-
What the fuck is that, Firestorm?
What?
What you have in your hand?
Ah, for fuck's sake. My average is going down so much now.
I have a hookah in my hand.
Oh no!
Very nice.
What are
I
you,
got smashed.
what are you hooking on? Strawberry or?
I made a
Oh.
chocolate
Cherry.
chocolate berry mix.
Ooh.
Oh.
Nice.
I don't smoke very much, if at all. So.
Well, hookah is
Hookah's not.
the way to go if you don't.
Yeah. Hookah's
Well,
not.
But kids,
No,
kids
no.
on the stream, don't smoke, alright? You know?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Bad for
Don't
you.
ever do
Didn't
it.
I just see someone break out a bottle?
What do you mean?
Someone was drinking over the age of 18. I think this is a... Well, no,
No.
not you. I saw the cup, coffee.
Hedgie
Hello.
Hoggy was
Not
really
coffee.
neglected when I got her back.
Hey,
Oh,
yo.
now she's not handled.
Four Loco.
So
Mixed with
Oops.
cheers.
Went
was
off the
is
course.
more
Oops.
work
Uh-oh.
than my boy, who I played with almost
Uh,
since getting him.
Where are we going?
Ma'am.
Oh, we're going over there.
what you?
Yeah.
You?
Alright.
Almost daily.
What is overexpected?
Yeah,
It doesn't,
how about-
oh, it doesn't jump on the fuck.
Yeah, I'm not sure what the shortcut is. I need a nap, lol. I do
Yeah, this
too.
one's got me messed up.
Naps are lovely. No! Oh god, I saved it somehow.
Everybody's touching me.
And that's problem.
Dun,
Just kidding.
dun, dun, dun,
I got you closer to the ramp.
That's not where I wanted
Okay,
to
I'm up
be.
top. Almost there. Yes.
Look at that. I even went past it after all
Lady.
that.
Oh no! I missed it.
Jeebus.
Jeebus Creepus.
It did
Oh,
for.
we're nearly there. There's less than 4.
Oh, you assholes.
Just maybe like 3 and a bit.
I got 9 strokes.
Well, congratulations.
I got 10. More strokes is better.
Except, wait a minute. Hold on.
I mean, you're not wrong.
That's what she said.
Hey, yo.
Unless,
Giggity,
unless,
giggity, go.
unless it's fucking half of them's at A&E, then yeah.
That was not my best work.
Long or short?
Kimono's winning, by the way, guys.
True.
Just let you know.
I know, I'm trying to win.
Don't point it out. Then immediately lose.
No, I'm
Did you
trying to
finish
get the
downloading?
community to fight
Okay.
against.
Let's see if
being
this runs.
pressed.
Against the plethora.
Oh, I did so good, but I didn't get
Ready?
far enough.
I'm with you. I'm with you.
I don't remember how to do this one.
Yeah,
I don't like it.
I'm with you. What do you mean no? What you hit me for?
I told you no.
No, I'm going back. I'm going back. I don't want to go back.
Both
I
with
hope
your
you die.
enemies.
Draws, baby.
Well, you're gonna have to go
We're
big.
gonna go through the legs. No, I hit the eye.
Only
From
through
the
the
com-
legs.
From the
I'm
company
trying
that
to
brought you
lower back.
worms.
Tracked a lot since taking her to the vet in December, and I don't have
It's
time
hard.
every
If I
day to
got
play
that
with
in
her.
2,
Aw.
my goodness.
Well, I'm sucking it, so it's all good.
How the hell did you get
I
that?
got
I'm just glad they're healthy
you're
again.
Well, I'm just saying I'm getting very good at my strokes right now.
That's pretty sus, bro.
No, I'm getting.
Yeah, that's all you had to do was just hit it, just like
Just-
that.
Just a lot of practice. That's all it takes. A lot of
Yep.
There you
practice.
go, wait. Yep. No, you got it, Kimono.
Yep.
Just sit still. You're good.
No,
Oh,
no, jump.
bounce, bounce, bounce around.
Ah! I think some of those counted as strokes, not bounces.
I'm a saboteur.
Oh, I'm
The
tired.
end?
Okay.
Oh, we missed the 69 mark.
6, you're gonna have to come in here and pronounce your name for me.
Bye, bye.
It's called Legend.
Oh, I'm gonna get in the hole. Don't worry
Yeah,
about me.
that's good. I'm glad Cleo's gotten her quills back.
I didn't do it hard enough. Now I did it too hard.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Dude, isn't that the
And
life?
it didn't work.
I messed up somehow. I don't know what I
I'm gonna
did.
see if I can join.
And take a while, guess who hit me?
You can
again?
join after it.
What are you talking about?
Yeah, it won't let you join mid game, but it'll let you
Oh,
join
okay.
it.
Alright, you're yeah, got you. No problem.
As
Let me
soon as we
see if the
started.
game even runs properly.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Lady!
Yeah, she's an absolute fucking heathen.
You're a mess.
Got him.
Absolute
She's
heathen.
doing her best. Leave her
I
alone.
was there.
She's
I was
past.
there.
She's past the 69 mark. I don't know what the encouragement after that is.
I don't more.
420.
Well, yeah.
I don't know if she can get that far though. That would be
No,
impossible.
the more strokes, the better. Come on,
Are you
guys.
kidding? I was there. Oh my God, you.
You're
destroyed
special.
me.
Absolute heathen.
At what cost?
What cost? This is a very serious game.
You're special.
Yeah, I am.
I can't even get over there anymore.
She knows.
Do you know what? If the game couldn't be any worse, is that now we're playing against fucking Lady.
Look, it's a part 2 and I made it in 7, alright?
Close enough. Yeah, at least.
Still in 3rd though, what's up?
You're still a turd?
Yeah, he
Hey,
is.
got him.
Yeah.
Got him.
Holy!
So,
Dang!
so it looks like it actually runs
Welcome,
well,
Shane.
but it won't let me shoot.
Whoa. I don't know where my balls go.
Oh no, no, don't go back!
Boy.
Pew.
Zing!
Shoo-ba-doo-ba-doo.
Maybe not zing so hard, please.
Oh, that saved me. Thank you, lipstick.
You're
Here.
Skirt, skirt.
Whoa, what?
Ah, where am I going? I'm going backwards. I'm going backwards.
Whee!
I feel like I'm on fire.
I don't know what
love
I'm
this
doing.
map. I love this map. It's so much fun.
My ball is getting tortured.
Hey, I made it.
I'm gonna get a bar.
Thank you, whoever that was. I was tired of getting my balls hit.
I know.
Maybe.
I actually have
Hey,
I
no,
literally-
lady.
No, back
I have
off.
a sore ball right now.
I don't know if I helped anybody or not. A wild tentacle appeared.
Lady, come on. Fuck.
Oh, catch tentacruel.
Lord, what happened in chat?
The fucking launch
It
into
went by
space.
so fast. It's just like,
I have a great time.
Bye, have a good
Can I
time.
buy
Bye.
some?
Good time.
Don't have enough dollars. Dang it. Can't buy any ultra balls.
Oh, come on.
Which one is it? The golf ball?
Who
I don't
knows?
know. It's classified.
Many people are going there, so yes, yeah, golf ball.
It's
No, it's
not the left
classified.
side. I'll tell you that. much.
I can't move because of things.
Oof.
It's
Going down.
it's my life. I don't know. Fuck.
Do you know what?
peg.
Oh,
On,
one that-
on my screen,
Yeah.
Prince is in front of me.
I'll try
I don't
that
know
one.
what it actually is.
There we go. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
What the fuck
It's
is this?
it's
Like, I'm
what is-
positioned
what
so
was it?
badly
Center,
for this
left,
one.
Center, left.
Don't
I don't
believe
know.
it.
Yay!
I can't
Made it.
remember.
Shipped out.
My
Left,
short-term
center,
memory
left.
loss go
Turn
burr.
to you.
Yeah.
I
yeah,
could
like,
Yeah,
use
just go
that
back to
right
the end
now.
I'll be right back.
Okay.
That looks amazing.
You were shipped now. Don't make the rule.
Oh, of course.
6 mate. Artist 6. Ooh, Kit Kat made an angle.
Tonight.
Eagle. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
How
yeah.
the fuck are you supposed to do this?
Luck.
Hey! That's not the one. Oh, that was the one. That was not the one. Fuck you.
It's the middle one.
Fuck you.
I can't jump straight and I can't get on the other course.
Anyways, at least you have the best ball.
That reminds you of the
No,
South
fuck
Park.
me.
City
I have
Walk.
the best ball, yeah.
City
Yeah,
Walk
yeah,
versus
it,
Little
it
cuppy.
wiggles. Yeah, it wiggles a
We
lot.
got-
Duck.
My balls
Sure,
are always
versus, like,
bouncing
There
to
we
the
go.
left and to the right.
Fuck you.
And left now?
My brother.
I
Goose?
went down the middle one. I went down the middle one.
Left, left.
Duck, duck, goose.
Hey,
Made
there we
it.
go.
But that's a lot better than.
Finally.
Yeah, it was left, center, left.
Yeah,
I
it
think.
was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys
I
don't have
did
a
this-
Halloween
I
hat
did a place because of that.
on
It was
my
tough, though.
ball.
Oh
I
my
did
god,
not.
the whole
I
way
did
over
not
there.
think. I did not. think
Probably
that
do.
came through.
Oh, I get
What?
it. I get it. I get it. I get
What
it.
is going on?
Oh. Oh.
Don't forget
Okay,
it.
no.
I missed again. Don't.
Oh my god. I have no idea what to do on this one.
We're tied for first place right now. So,
You gotta hit it.
I went
Are
first,
we?
but it didn't.
Oh,
it
God.
went to the end.
Don't pull that feet.
Yep, you miss.
Oh, I did something.
You don't say.
I did
I'm
a
gonna
weird
get stuck
thing.
in this.
You can
The
full
balls
send a
keep
little
hitting
bit to the
me.
left. If you would.
No. There we go.
Depends on when you do it, though.
I want deviled eggs.
Thank you,
They were
weird.
so good,
Yeah.
artists. I'm scared.
I'm not in a
Bro,
good position
I'm
right
a
now.
glutton for deviled eggs. Who's got some?
I had them
Whoa.
twice this week.
Nice.
Oh,
Thanks.
sorry. I didn't know.
I ate my Easter eggs that way.
How am I supposed to... Hold on. How am I supposed to get over there? Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Oh,
Come
no.
on.
I wish someone had seen what the fuck just happened.
How did I end up on the side over here?
Oh, I forgot to
Nope.
jump.
Come on. Sorry.
Oh right, you
No!
can jump. Why did I forget that
I
I can
hate
jump?
this hole right now.
In the hole, hey, saw you.
Nope, that didn't help.
No, too far.
You can't jump on it. You can't
No,
jump
you
on
can.
it.
You can. I've done it. I just didn't have it right. That's all.
1, 2.
Lady.
I missed it.
Oh, I
Fuck
just didn't get it.
yeah!
I
There.
This is gonna be my one where I like hit the hole limit. I think.
Hey, I
In
didn't
the
hit the
hole.
hole limit. Yes.
Yep. Nope. I hit the hole
In
limit.
the
I got
hole.
in with kimono. It's the same as I did.
Lady.
I fell off too.
Just
And
gonna
then what?
go in the water forever and ever and
Cheers.
ever.
Oh, you're so annoying.
Hey,
It's almost over.
hey.
This
Almost
is definitely
Oh, dude, I missed it every
Good
time.
going, good going, good going.
definitely a hard.
Legs, not eggs.
Yeah, every time.
This is definitely a hard hole. This is dinner first.
Ran out of time. Wow.
I was so close, and it was all.
69.
Kimono's at 69 right now.
Not at a time.
I got one more hole.
What is going on?
I know. One more hole. Full last. Or
This is like a
just a
easy
smidgen under.
Like, just go for it.
Straight in the moose knuckle.
Can somebody hit? Come on. Whoa, don't hit me. Unbelievable.
Yeah.
We
Oh no! I almost made it.
Oh no! That was terrible! What
Come on,
happened?
Come on, you have to do like 7 strokes or
Why
something.
did I
I think.
take 3?
I'm just letting Michigan win. That's what it is.
No, you're gonna still win. Hold on, let's see. Yeah,
I'm just
you
letting-
won.
Give you my legs.
Thank you.
And you are choked. So,
Hey,
hey, 72.
guess what? I was the first loser, so.
Well, you know what?
Lady Rain actually won. She had the most points.
Yeah, she did stroke. Never mind.
Yeah, she lasted the longest, so she won.
I know. I was about to say I had.
She
to-
lasted 122 strokes.
did.
Yeah.
Damn, that's impressive. Are you gonna write a book here soon? Because I want.
Sure.
I think it's a good job I never played that course.
Oh, I
And
got
was
a cap
maybe too
from
hammered beforehand
here.
because
Speedy.
Lady is just fucking toxic.
Alright, if you're
Here.
changing your
Oh, that-
characters, go ahead and
That's
customize your characters now. I'm gonna take a little stretch break, customize your characters, and then we can come back.
I need to get a hat in my guy
Okay.
or my ball.
legs. You guys are nuts. Yeah.
They used to have them in the. They were everywhere, like even in the grocery store, like little
What?
eggs that had stockings in them or whatever. I don't know.
Drugs.
They were called legs. I don't know. It's weird. Nani?
Nani the fuck?
Nani? The fuck?
I have no comment in this.
Wow.
That was actually really good. What the fuck?
Hey, doza.
Hello?
Look at him trying to find out who that was.
I know who it was.
It was clumsy. Momo.
Do be a Momo.
Nani?
Yummy.
Looked you yet.
Domo arigato.
Domo arigato.
Mr.
Mr.
Arigato.
You're special.
Fucking special needs for sure.
I didn't hear her scream from the kitchen, so she couldn't hear it. Or we can't hear her.
Jacks,
Oh,
well,
no, no.
I got good news.
Well,
That's
Yes?
good.
I quit smoking cigarettes.
Hey.
Yes.
That's good.
I will
You did what?
cheers to
find
that.
your picture, but the camera's here.
You did what?
I will cheers to that.
Mhm.
Water and whatever you're drinking.
What did you do? You quit what?
I'm drinking
Smoking.
Four Loco. We already established this.
He
Quit
quit the
smoking cigarettes.
tobaccos.
you quit the tobaccos.
You better be
Tobacco.
drinking.
Oh.
Which
Oh
is
my
great, because that
God,
means
oh
you
my God.
you added 10 years back to your life by quitting. So,
And I've been quitting for.
But those 10 years are you when you're getting
Bro,
your
Good
own.
stick.
don't make me get
You
into
should
that.
scream.
scream.
Yeah,
Because you're a-
you're
I
already
did
10
scream. Thanks, Momo.
Me?
You guys just didn't hear me.
No. Six.
Oh,
You're
She's a bitch.
I was screaming.
Well, you
My
added
God.
10 years to your life of getting your ass wiped by somebody else.
Yadi yadi.
I don't wanna get into it.
vibes up in here. Holy
Good lord,
shit.
are you a HoloLive streamer? What's going on here?
You didn't know that?
What?
Oh, wait, what?
Ooh, ooh, ooh.
Yeah, we didn't get an ooh woo. Where's the ooh woo?
Ooh.
You want to touch my woo?
Who
Oh
was it?
no.
Yeah, that's not.
Yeah.
Who was
I'm
it that said
scared,
they quit
actually.
smoking?
Like,
How
Oh,
long
me.
for?
Yeah.
Just now.
3 weeks.
3 weeks.
hey,
Yeah, it's been 4 weeks for me.
Hey, you made it
Great.
past the first 3 days, which are the hardest. So
Yeah.
That
Well,
is the
actually,
hardest.
that's a
Alright.
lie.
Watch out, Shade.
That's a lie.
it's
The
not
first,
a lie.
it's
Actually,
100% a lie.
It's
The-
the first
the
2 weeks.
First 3 weeks is the worst.
Everybody's booping
First-
what
and
he
kissing
said.
me. What's
First
going
3 weeks is
on?
the worst.
I know, Splits
I'm
get
gonna-
down.
I'm gonna-
3 months.
Alcohol
I stopped for 3 months and
runs and hides.
kind of round it all up.
It's like, hell no, stop this mess.
I just.
Oh, how
kinda
do I join your
want
game?
A blowout.
Oh,
Exactly.
there's
My
a password. I can
basically,
invite you if
yeah.
we're friends on Steam.
But I
Yeah,
can
and
you-
find me on Steam.
It'll all
Hold
go
on.
back to
I'll message you.
not wanting to. I can
I
feel
was
it
gonna say,
in
I
my
don't think
chest.
we're friends.
Yeah, I don't think
No.
so. We should be. Jeez.
Fair play to you, pal. Fair play to you.
Yeah, I mean, I smoked for
Where does
about
that fire?
16
Like,
years.
you're just not friends.
But basically half of my life, I'm 30.
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
still.
to be fair, like, just
Jimmy
yesterday we were added friends with Crowley because we've known them for a while, and yet we're not
send me a
friends on
link.
Discord.
I
I don't tend to friend people on
There
Discord
you
because
go.
we're always in the same channel.
just saying.
I know.
I mean, yeah.
And yet,
Why?
somehow,
Yeah.
some of
You're
us
always gonna be
If
like,
I you on Steam.
nobody
Be
wants me.
friends.
I'm gonna go to the toilet
Add
quickly.
friend. Okay. Yeah, add friend.
I shouldn't have eaten that much. I ate a whole foot long
Oh.
stuff.
It happens.
I'm
What'd
going to
you eat?
finish this Goro Loco.
It wants me to enter a friend code, not a
It's
thing.
still
I'm
not like
also-
the actual Four Locos, so I'm not as impressed.
What was for dinner? What'd you
The
eat?
audacity of this
I
man
had
to
a
comment about
foot long tuna
He's
sub from
right.
Subway.
Foot long tuna. Ooh,
Yeah.
boy.
Just a plain ass tuna.
What'd you have on it?
I
Plain
gotta
ass
log in.
No, just bread and tuna.
Yeah.
No shit. No cheese.
Eh.
No lettuce. Nothing.
Do that. That's my friend
All
code.
I eat.
Wow.
That way I don't have to
That's
log in in
literally
the
the only
browser.
thing I eat at Subway.
I've
I
had
hope you don't eat that more than like once a month, because
Eat
tuna,
fresh.
you know?
Not very often.
Shane, how are you doing? Come on out. I'm doing good. How are you tonight? I hope you're doing well. Welcome to the stream.
actually had tuna with black olives before. It was actually pretty good.
Tuna is actually the
We're
safest
special.
fish to eat.
No!
It actually has the less amount of mercury.
It does.
Are you kidding me?
No.
They're the biggest
No.
fish, and they eat all the smaller fish.
Yeah, and they still have the least amount of mercury.
Are you telling me they got a liver that can filter mercury?
Possibly.
Maybe. Maybe.
But
Did you add me?
Yeah, like
no, I sent you the friend code instead, so I didn't have to log into
Aw.
Steam. That's what I was saying. I don't want to log into
So I'll just
Steam
leave it at that.
I don't.
on a web browser.
Yeah, like a lot of the cans and stuff will tell you that it's the lowest on in mercury.
Oh, okay. So canned tuna.
Mercury's in
Let's
retrograde.
think about that. Canned tuna comes from smaller tunas, not the big blue fins.
Yeah.
Ah.
So
That
that
makes sense.
could be why.
I
That could
haven't
be why.
had fresh tuna. I don't usually buy like the tuna steaks and stuff like that.
I love tuna.
I'm sorry, I love sushi so much.
No,
I
I
had
love
sushi last night. It was
so good.
fantastic.
I don't like sushi.
I sent there was
you
hot
missed
girl
I
out
want
tuna.
on
to.
life.
No, I want to like sushi. I really do. I don't like the texture though.
Here's how you can start. Just have the imitation crab roll
Why
California
is it-
rolls.
I don't like the texture of those.
Even that? What do you mean? You
Yeah.
don't like rice?
It
Alright,
for whatever
mean
reason
rice
the
Steam is now not
texture
launching for me, so
of
go
a
ahead and play.
sushi is different than like normal rice to me, and I don't like it.
Well, it's probably
Okay,
that
okay.
and seaweed.
I won't pick. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's just a combination of all
there
the
we go.
different textures, and it's and
I
my
just
brain
love
doesn't
tuna.
like it.
I understand having texture problems. I do.
Yeah.
It's the whole
I-
reason why I don't like coconut.
That's so unfortunate because it's.
But
so
maybe it's the seaweed part. Who knows?
good. No,
You don't have
it's-
that
it's
much
not
of an
the
issue with
seaweed.
seaweed.
Because
I
the
actually
amount of
don't
seaweed in a
seaweed.
California roll
Push the
is so
button.
minimal that you wouldn't
Yeah.
even notice
In a
it.
minute.
He couldn't
I
join,
think it's the
so we
combination
can
of
start.
the rice and the crab.
Wait, hold up,
Probably,
dude,
yeah.
dude. Fire.
the
It's because you didn't know
avocado.
the password.
No, I
right?
got it running, but it says the
okay.
password doesn't work.
Oh yeah,
It's
that,
all
that's
lowercase.
It's all lowercase.
and it's
KimonoKat.
fast. You have to do it quick. It's weird.
Yeah.
Are we
you
even
do it
friends
fast.
yet?
Are you even friends?
And it's not
Because if
hit
you're
enter.
friends.
You gotta click on the button.
No, it won't let me join. Hold on.
You gotta click on the
that'll work.
button. Don't hit enter after you type KimonoKat. Click on the button.
Oh, that's a weird bug.
Trust
Did
me.
the
I
game
know.
just crash on me?
It might have.
Yeah,
It's
it crashed
we'll
on me.
still wait.
No!
Dude, I can play with my balls any day of the week. I can wait.
Wow.
Giggity, what?
Hey, have anybody in
Giggity,
chat
giggity.
heard of
Oh,
dear?
Pokemon.
Oh,
Oh my god.
I know.
What?
I know. I want to give away a couple copies if anybody's interested.
Total
What?
game.
Maybe
dear.
my computer
Oh,
could maybe
dear.
do it.
I don't have it, but I will take a fucking.
It's a $10 game, but it is amazing.
We should probably play it. I think my computer might.
Why
I
is
don't-
everybody coming at me like that?
No, we're all coming everywhere.
No, in chat. I'm
Wow.
getting splashed,
No.
I'm getting licked.
I'm coming
Whoa.
left, right, and center here. But
No!
Dirty chat.
Shane got hugged and licked.
whatever
You
you're
just got
proposing
No, that
in order
happened
to
earlier.
get that game, I will.
What
I
I'm
will.
talking
I'll
about.
get it.
Yeah, I
I'm
want to.
in.
I want to play that game. I think everybody who's watching this would actually really enjoy playing it.
I think they
Just
really
saying.
would as well. But
So
I'm not
if I
going
can
to
give
tell.
away a couple copies and we can all play, it would be lovely.
Oh yeah.
What game?
What kind of copy though?
It's called Oh Dear on Steam.
What?
Rick,
Oh.
Oh, it's the deer hunting game,
Oh
right?
Dear.
Oh,
It's not.
yeah.
Well, I mean, yes, you hunt
Sort
deer,
of.
but that's not the entire purpose of the game.
Oh,
It's weird
it's,
though.
It's very funny.
it is
bizarre.
fucking like from
Oh,
what I've seen.
dear.
It is
Michigan,
fucking
why you
hilarious.
kissing me, man?
Hey, it's what I did at your house, and I'm gonna do it
what
now.
the fuck?
I'm just gonna keep it going.
Is that the only thing you done at the house?
What? I did.
You said the password was just the
Yeah.
streamer's name.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Without
it's not
the
the
last
last
part.
bit.
I mean, I see the lobby, but it won't let me join.
Lowercase.
Do we have too many people?
You don't have the cat now.
Don't add
No.
cat after it.
It's
Yeah.
up to 15 people.
Oh, sorry. It's just kimono. My bad.
Gonna peek a
My
hat.
bad.
Okay.
I said.
Yep.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, my bad. Sorry, dude. Sorry.
Pika hat. Okay,
Oh, there
got
it
it.
is.
My brain just types it, and I don't think about it. I'm
Pikachu.
like, yeah, what's this?
Let's get some balls in some holes.
Maybe.
All right.
If you're good.
Wow.
Yeah, we already changed that. Cool.
Let's see.
I hear someone's alarm going off.
Are we?
That's just
Not
my
mine.
I
internal.
think you're just going insane.
Are we
Not very
already
possible.
friends? Is that the
Very
thing?
possible.
Could be at your house.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's
Could be
definitely
at
not
your
any of those.
house. You're talking about special kinds of ghosts?
Don't
Dude,
talk
you
to
even
me
go
about
as
that.
far.
Please don't-
Stretch
let's not go
break.
there.
We already
Please don't
stretched
go
for
there. It's 2:40 a.m. for me. And I have
Oh
to go.
yeah. Oh
Oh,
yeah.
yeah,
It's
you're
too
from the
close to the
future.
witching hour.
Oh no. You want the stretch break?
Do not spook me.
Ugh.
Stretch.
This one
Can make me
gets-
stand up and play.
Stretch.
Only the cute
and relax.
Cookies, right?
Oh, I'm not so good at this one.
Like my puddle butt. He's my little spooky boy.
So now how to play. Standing up.
I'd say I'm not so good at this one, and then immediately get a hole in one.
I'm not so good.
It was luck, I'll tell you that. But
No, you don't have to tell us that. You say you're very, very good at the game.
I'm so
No.
good.
I didn't do anything.
Love you long time. Yeah, you did.
You're
You
not
fucking
being
knocked
right,
into the
man.
hole. I got one shot.
I didn't even do that on purpose.
You had
Well,
one
that's probably the
opportunity.
reason why yeah, one opportunity.
One shot to blow. Wait, what?
Yoink!
What?
Oh,
You got one shot to blow.
Y'all full yeeted it, didn't you?
Not full, but I went
yeeted
pretty
it like
hard.
Yeet, man.
Fucking Uno!
Lady, no.
Yes!
Okay, it worked out.
Sweet, thanks. You let me get a hole in one.
Yeah, but I was on
Fucking
my
two.
second shot, and I was quite upset that I made contact.
You know what this is? Two.
To be for school. Oh, whoa! I went way too hard.
Fucking 3, motherfuckers!
It's not a fully. It's just
Splints.
Streams
kinda-
is
I
winning.
have that issue a lot. Yeah, I just go too hard.
no. I go full hard.
Kimono, do you have a standing desk?
No,
I'll rephrase
I'm playing
that.
with a
Do you have
disadvantage.
Oh,
I'll rephrase that. Do you have a desk that you push the button and it fucking
No,
She doesn't.
I'm playing
No,
with
no,
disadvantage
she
right
just-
now. I'm standing up and mousing down here.
She just moved her camera.
I wish I did.
we
Yeah,
had
she's
only
doing her
from
bit of a
first place
stretch
to
break.
What, third, fifth, sixth?
Yeah, you requested stretch break, and we had just had a stretch break, so I can't leave my computer.
Hook a rank
I get
shit.
that. I just didn't know whether. I know you adjusted the camera, but I just didn't know whether.
No, I wish I did.
Whoa.
What is that bullshit?
Y'all hit me. What's up with that? All right,
Y'all
everybody, go ahead. I'll let you have your turn.
Oh,
I have to wait for
Where'd I
shit.
go?
Ready?
I don't know, where did you go?
Get me this time, lady.
No,
Dream.
I'm at that
Really?
point right
Sorry,
now. I'm
buddy.
going too hard.
Sorry, buddy. Well,
I'll get him back for you.
Go Splints.
lady.
I can't
See?
go. There's people in
This
front
is
of
me
They're gonna
sitting
be
down.
crazy.
You're just gonna
I
see
gotta
my
go.
eyeballs.
Oh my god, somebody put me in.
Hey, at least
Oh
we know we have
my.
a
Like James.
Oh, almost.
Thanks,
James.
lady.
Dude, somebody
James,
almost gave me a
James.
hole in one from my first
James,
shot. Like,
James,
what?
James.
I hit
Dreams,
dreams
dreams,
and he
James.
hit you.
Dreams,
James,
dreams,
What?
James,
dreams.
What me?
James, I'm
James.
sitting back down. Look.
Oh yeah.
You can see my eyes.
Hey.
That's a hell of a
This is how-
forehead you got.
Can we try it again?
There.
Doesn't help you.
Are you just attacking me?
I was trying to help you.
Falk?
She's-
There's a lot of words.
Fall into Lady's plan. This is. She says she's trying to help, but no, she's like fucking Loki. She fucking plays devil's advocate.
Seriously, Michigan, why is everybody kissing me? It's weird.
She,
Because I
'cause
told
you-
him to.
Because you taste like strawberries, apparently.
And stroke.
Let's see who
Well,
I-
that's what I
wait,
told.
wait, Run!
Yeah, that's what I told everybody. That it tastes like strawberries.
Oh, boy.
See?
See, everybody loves me.
Can't confirm.
No, lady.
Can't
No.
confirm. Yikes.
Boop, Momo.
There we go.
Right.
oh, so I thought she was gonna hit me there. Get me in the hole.
That was a lot of hole to
I had to block you guys. But then I ended up jumping in.
Lady definitely tried the
I'm
hardest.
going in.
Momo!
I accidentally jumped in.
party.
And then splash two.
Look at
I'm
me.
happy.
Right there.
Yep.
I got myself a pretty purple
Ooh,
calculator.
you hit the thing head on. Ouch.
I know. I messed that up.
You have a concussion.
It's okay. Still
Pretty.
under.
Concussion.
Yes.
Giggity.
Compunction.
Shane's gonna win. I'm gonna call it. Shane's gonna win.
We're top, tippy top.
Oh, this.
We're at tippy top. I'm
Freaking-
thinking maybe like 3. Oh, we got whoop de whoops beforehand though.
This one always messes me up.
Oh.
Oh, I nearly got it, man.
3.5 heat from the start.
Ah!
Maybe
Or
it'll-
2.5. Yeah,
I went
no,
too
3.5.
far.
Yeah, 3.5.
It's not that.
Meow.
You thinking 3.5?
Alright, I got
Yeah, it's 3.5 from the start.
So it's like a half a knee plus a quarter finger.
Yeah. Wait,
3.5.
We're
We
including
talked about
fingers
quarter
now?
That doesn't sound right. Yeah, you don't.
But nobody can be in the way.
Rose?
I
So
didn't
that's gonna be a
realize
problem.
you were including fingers in this now.
Where's
I don't
Rose?
I didn't think fingers is a
I
fucking.
know where she's at. Laura's not even here.
Right.
There we go.
Fucking asshole.
God damn.
You were right. Hole in one.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
You go with the
Yes,
fucking.
sir.
Oh,
I didn't
Dream.
get a hole in one,
Dream, you
though.
got stuck
I
in
got
the
a
wavy
30.
waves. You're so rude, dude.
I'm
You
in-
need
I'm
to
in
get
the
past
wave.
these
I'm in the
now.
wave, wave.
It's because
No,
you kept Rose
you
partying
never
last
said the whole
night, so
thing.
she didn't make it tonight.
Well, she only had a couple.
Well, we were talking about
my God,
you
yes.
know, the gamer retirement home thing.
2.5?
Yeah, you know, we all get
There you go.
know, we all get a free I don't know,
Still 7.
something.
I'll take that.
Mm.
At least I'm not last.
What the fuck? Oh.
Oh,
Okay. I don't like this
not that.
this map. It's
rude.
it's against my
Who
religion.
the fuck hit me? No.
It's fucking painful, isn't it?
Everybody's looking
The
for
audacity.
something.
Lady!
Oh shit!
Get out of here.
Who touched me?
Oh my god.
Hit me!
That's
Somebody touched me.
Y'all freaking hit me!
I didn't do nothing.
I am literally on my second stroke.
Well,
I
at
can't
least the
move.
first one didn't hurt you.
First of all, you went backwards there, Fire.
Yeah.
Can't move 'cause lady's
Oh
in the way.
my god. Okay, thank you. That helped. That got me over
Somebody
the thing.
touched me.
Alright, Fire. Go around by using the wall. Don't hit the blue thing. Hit the fucking. Okay,
Well,
somebody else. can hit you.
Backwards! No!
Yeah,
Not
rude.
into the
Very
water.
rude.
Get down there, get down
Bogey.
there. Come on.
Bogey, bogey,
You
bogey.
get
Hi,
it.
Shane.
Wait.
Are you excited about a new event that you can get stuff?
Am I going to the
On
left
this
or
one,
right?
just barely go up the hill because you're gonna.
Genshin things?
Oh, I jumped just in time. I saw that Michigan.
Genshin,
There
that's
you go.
all.
I didn't do anything.
Alright,
Uh-huh.
It's actually a lie.
No, I thought I saw
Keeps
something.
you away from the blue
You were
thing.
aiming
Yeah,
for
there
me
you
hard.
go. Now you
No,
can
no,
Eh.
jump
these
down
are
the
lies,
ramp.
actually.
If
So.
you hit C,
Oh.
hold on. If you hit C in space, you can
Maybe not.
like take a look.
Oh, no, I just lost it.
There you go.
Or
Yeah.
space.
I'm also kind of
C, and
like
time.
part disabled right now. My wrist is not super great.
It's okay. You have time.
Just take a couple of weeks off.
Well,
See.
you've got 20 seconds, but
Where did I see that today? I don't even know.
What?
there you go. Brilliant.
Brilliant.
Nailed it.
I knew
I'm
I'd
not-
get you in there in par.
The Star Rail one, where you get 20 warps. Do you play Star Rail? I forget.
You
I
could
think
have
you
got
do.
in there in like 2.
I finally got
It's
Daya
just
and-
under the thing.
No, I got destroyed.
Weapons from the Chronicle banner and some with
Somebody
Fischl.
smacked you.
Nice.
Oh shit,
Ooh,
that
nice.
fish is a lot higher than it looks.
Yeah. Didn't realize that.
Daya is awesome.
Ah!
You don't play Star Rail? Okay.
Nope. Honkai Star Rails.
Bandai!
Yeah.
Ooh, fishy.
Honkai Star Rail.
No, stay in the course.
Oh.
I got it
No.
into.
Got wee flappy thing.
I'm on a
I'm
guy
gonna hit
in
it
one
so
because
hard. No, but maybe a little harder than that, or otherwise I get stuck under here just bouncing forever.
Jump! Jump, Firestorm, jump!
It's a tough thing.
Ay, ay, ay.
If you hit it too hard, you're gonna fail. If you don't hit it hard enough, you're
Dude,
always
that's
gonna fail.
that's
mean-
the story of.
And that's
Yeah,
fair,
no,
Shade. It's hard enough to keep up with one game.
Literally, story of my life.
Yeah,
You hit it
exactly.
too hard.
Chapter 1 is if we hit it too hard. So like
Yeah.
that's chapter 1. Come on.
Yeah.
If you hit it too hard, you'll
It doesn't
never
take-
believe.
You never get the hole in one.
Wow. Nope.
I'll be right
I
back.
always keep-
Now I have
Like really bad.
I'm like
chili
I'm like
cheese
fucking
Fritos.
on this one.
What?
I need
Those
to
are
figure it
very
out.
good though. I do
Splints,
love
okay,
the
you
chili.
ready?
That one.
Splints.
Mhm.
No.
Yeah.
Aim for the hole and go for one and a bit eat.
Splint, you
And
know where the
instant-
hole is.
Instantly jump.
I did instantly jump there.
Nah, you gotta be.
Nah, it needs to be over here, but I need to just.
Your finger
Oh,
has to be,
man.
like,
You're playing enough hole then, Shade.
your finger has to be rapid.
Oh, I got the. Brrr. Don't
Yeah.
worry about me.
If you get a rapid finger, then
I went back. I went back on the back
One.
wall and then jumped. That's what I did. Or you could just
Oh,
be
jump,
awesome.
jump,
Nice.
but-
No.
15 strokes with 15 seconds left. Hell yeah.
well,
Dude, that's a legendary.
I'm
You're legendary.
five strokes behind Kimono.
I don't care.
I just want to win. That's all I'm saying.
I'm just.
Yeah. Oh, I
sorry.
just missed the
It's
hole.
not. It's not full yeet, is it?
What the
God.
fuck? Oh, I'm aiming for the wrong
Oh.
hole.
I'm not gonna lie, this game is starting to piss me off.
Clumsy?
Oh.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say stay still.
No, Michigan.
no.
I think you
Prince.
just need-
Okay. Thank you.
Shut off of it.
Here we go. Ooh, I went out.
Jump that.
Oh, thank you, thank you.
Just right around the corner.
Damn it.
Right around the corner.
Take me right round, baby, right round.
Round.
No,
right,
you
baby.
stuff.
Did you do that to me?
Got a bogey.
Now I gotta take a
Fun.
small shot to get centered. That wasn't
Oh,
enough.
No, 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 no.
No.
Yeah, Firestorm, that was not the
That was too
proper.
much. Oh no. There we go. It's
I
good
got-
enough.
Do you know what? I got 9 strokes on that.
Chicken butt.
Hey, that's
Strokes.
impressive,
yeah, that's
man.
about what I'm gonna get.
9 strokes
That's
on that.
impressive. Like,
You know what I mean?
everybody's
Like,
talking about their strokes. I think that's awesome.
Yeah.
I had
go to
6.
A&E for less. You know what I mean?
9 strokes.
You're
That's
still
awesome.
Mhm.
at the bottom.
I know. I have to take a potty break.
It's okay. I'm just messing.
Well, when we finish
Uh,
this, you can take a piss break.
Oh, it's not
No,
really
she's
that.
It's
already-
happening.
Alright, it's there. Okay.
I caught the Pokemon.
What you snacking on?
Me?
Yeah, you.
Food.
Well, that's great. Thanks.
Flints.
Informative.
One of my mates took home and
I have Fritos chili cheese.
Yum. Need to make
Chili cheese.
a taco pie.
Mm-hmm.
Splints, one of my mates in Japan, and
Throw
he
some,
walked into the
throw some chili and cheese in there.
Like,
Yum yum.
Mm-hmm.
maybe, fuck, what was it? Like, maybe 12 o'clock midnight there. And he went into the, he tried to go and look for a ramen shop, and they were, you know, pretty well closed.
Ramen.
A ramen
I know,
shop.
that's what I thought he had said too.
And he got
Like,
there,
what?
He got there, and one of the people turned around to him and was just like, "Get out!" And he's like, "Fucking hell!" Like, sorry, like I didn't realize. He just went in the front door and asked to see whether they're closed or not, and because presumably they don't know English, and he came in kind of like,
That
"Are you open?"
happens. That does happen. Oh
And
my
they're just
God,
like,
somebody-
"Get out!" And I was just like, "What the fuck?" Like, bit weird. I'll be honest.
Can't do this one. I'm gonna lose my lead here because
Oh no, I
the
went too
stuff
far.
messes me up.
Sorry, guys.
Fucking.
I can't do this one at all.
No, I keep hitting the
You
octopus.
can do it,
tentacle.
Mono, I believe.
I'm fucking just going for it. Full yeet.
You got make it go straight, like go a bit to the left.
Nah.
Oh,
Sorry, kitty cat.
Oh fuck.
oh no.
I kept
First go
hitting
to the left.
Tentacle. The
I
tentacle
fucked up.
was messing with me.
I
Are you
fucking
looking at the right person?
You need to go a little lighter and don't hit the tentacle.
Ah,
So easy.
Mama.
What are you saying?
so bad. 11.
Go up. Go thumb.
11.
Yeah.
Oh,
Go down
wait, I'm sorry
Komodo.
about that one. Yeah,
Go
just
up
go
the layer.
in.
Aw,
Just go
kitty!
But don't.
Get
don't
out of
hit
here.
Oh, no.
Baby.
Here's my baby.
That's my baby.
What's the
Hello,
control?
little baby.
Kitty cat.
I got 12, so I mean, I
Here's
can't
my
really say
voice. Got my
Blade
voice
kitty.
much.
too.
I'm boy.
Boy, kitty.
I got the vote.
Oh, you cuddly boy.
Now
Mine's
I
not
want
very
to cuddle
cuddly.
a kitty cat.
Oh, this one is super sweet.
I won't lie to you.
He's so good.
I do like. Well,
He's so
I
good.
like some
Cuddles
cats,
is sweet sometimes
but
when he wants
I-
attention. But
I prefer doggos. I
Ugh.
do love
Oh,
cats. but
kitty
I
cat. Oh, he just like flopped into me harder. He's like, no, I want to cuddle. You can't move.
yes.
Oh, he's purring.
I wish Puddles would do that.
He's a big
But no.
baby. Okay, baby, I have to play the next hole.
Yeah, I don't have a cat, but yeah, one of these days.
Lucy will do that, man.
Oh, shit, no!
Thanks for the
Come on,
retweets,
ball.
guys. You guys are
Come on,
awesome.
ball.
Thank you, thank you,
I
thank
made
you.
a mistake.
You're not welcome.
Mistakes were made.
I make
Thank you
mistakes.
for the
Dude, it's the one
retweet.
thing I do is mistakes,
Oh,
yeah.
I made mistake.
We know.
Big mistake.
Oh, well, somehow.
They're
I did
allowed.
Where do I go?
I did it well.
Where do I go from that?
Oh, hey guys.
Where'd I go?
Momo,
That's
I
fine
thought
now.
you were
Boy.
baby. I was so
My good boy.
scared.
We weren't holding your hand, man.
Let me hit you.
Whoa. That's very
I was
aggressive.
like,
Oh,
oh my
where's
god,
me?
she's gonna knock me
Be
out the house.
aggressive. Be
That's another
aggressive.
baby dog.
Oh no, this is terrible. What the heck
Okay,
is
where's
that?
sister?
Beautiful.
Just ignore me. I'm having a day.
Anybody else remember ICQ? No? Okay.
I remember ICQ. What about it?
Oh no.
ICQ down.
We got
Not like
7
this.
kimonos, so
Not
you're
like
good.
this.
Dude,
I
I'm
I
just
think the
trying to...
ICQ protocol is still alive
so what I
too.
learned from this, from what I learned from this was this.
It is. I used to have a
Straight up.
5-digit fucking
Straight
code,
up
though.
about
Oh.
one and a bit.
Alright, here's the other fur baby. I got her. My sweet baby.
My
I'm
cat's
actually,
passed
I
out.
can't even see
No,
chat.
that's okay.
So
He looks like
That's
my
okay.
cousin's cat Odin.
now I
My
can see
sweet
chat.
baby
There's
girl.
baby.
No.
Sweet baby girl.
Could have been 11.
You got a 4. I'm still in 6. It's
I moved down this thing really fast. I told you Shane was gonna win this time.
He looks beautiful. But
Well,
your dog
he
your dog's
is
better.
the mastermind.
I'm not a dog person. You guys know this. He came packaged with the
Oh,
boy
dang
stuff.
it.
Well,
Let's we did the same thing.
Was it you?
I didn't.
Apparently we can't play pool together.
Oh, you're so
I know
cuddly.
you got him, but
Now I'm in the hole.
Whoa.
Hey yo.
Oh my god, no, I have to go to bed, man. Hey,
Why?
You.
don't you dare!
No.
Oh, you fucking slag.
Fishy! Fishy, save me! Thank you.
Mhm.
No.
Darn you, Fishy.
Thank God you are.
No, Fishy, good.
I want the hole.
Watch out for the...
God damn it.
Save me! No! Fishy denied me.
Here, Fitchy, Fitchy, Fitchy. Fitchy, Fitchy.
Not strong enough.
Fudge.
Who hit me?
Strokes in a par
Let me get
four. Yeah,
ready.
dog.
Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about.
Alright, I'll be right back.
So with
Why
this
did I
be-
try to go over here and the hole?
Fishy, you're in my way!
Rude.
I don't know. Hold on. Let me
So
do my
bad.
thing.
So
The
bad.
audacity,
I am not-
sir.
Absolute heathens.
You know that one?
We're drinking, man. What the hell?
Heathens are us.
Heathens are us, good sir.
Three
Back
just
with
hanging
the
out there.
heads.
What the fuck was that with Michigan?
I don't know.
Oh, man.
Absolute.
Thank you, Fishy.
You got saved by the fucking. Fish.
Thank God, I'm at 10 strokes.
The Fishy did not deny you this time.
Moving my way down the track.
Here's my way
Yeah,
down.
I think so.
Move my way downtown.
Way downtown.
Yup.
Y'all
Oh,
just going any which way.
How do you know the fucking strength?
You don't.
How do you
You
know
just
the strength?
fucking guess.
Nah, there ain't no guessing in this when people are going
Just
fucking.
use C, man. Just use C.
Okay,
Just
that
use C, man. Be careful with that.
that was badass, and you gotta admit that.
You didn't do
Oh,
shit.
You know, we can't see other people play, right? When we're still playing.
Really? Here, Strago, I'm gonna give you. Oh, you moved already. Okay.
Dang it!
I was gonna give you a boost.
Where's lady?
Boost.
I'm in the hole.
Hey, yo.
Yeah, I'm in the hole already.
Oh, yeah?
Also,
Sure.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
you're already in the hole. Then don't worry about
There are so many dirty analogies.
it. No, this is a very. I'm talking about golf. First of all, come on.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well,
Let's talk about golf, baby.
Hey!
Let's
Let's
talk
talk
about
about-
holes in
and
one.
me. Let's talk about all
Let's
the
talk
good
about
things,
all the
bad
holes
things.
and the bubs.
Let's see.
Excuse me, sir.
Oh wow, this one's crazy.
It's not a full
taxi.
yeet.
Sure, it's it.
Intriguing.
That was fast.
Thank you,
This one's
Michigan.
crazy.
Hey, no problem,
taxi.
man. I'm
Fucking
just here to
nailed
help.
it! Get in that fucking
You.
You denied me?
Would you like some help?
I've
I
also
Come on.
was in
denied-
it!
Sort of.
I think
No.
you said no to help.
Oh, what?
Oh no, it didn't boost
Okay,
me enough.
sure.
No.
That actually helped me a little bit, except it put me in the wrong corner.
I think what you'll find is
No,
that
it's
Nobody
not.
puts baby in the corner.
Apparently,
I
she
do.
put me in
Nobody
the corner.
puts baby in the corner.
Baby, baby, baby.
Damn it.
Landslide, let's go.
What? I'm not in a legal position.
baby, baby, baby.
Everybody knows what's baby. Damn, dude, I got
Oh, fuck.
double.
I'm getting
bogey.
wrecked.
Indoors
Sorry,
and
Michigan.
time, lights down
No,
low.
it's
I
all
actually
good.
didn't mean to hit
anyways.
you.
I hated my life
We do it
anyway.
back.
Hi, Prince.
You're in the water.
No! Right?
Okay, so here's the trick, Firestorm. See, if
Listening.
you just, when the
She's
hatch,
so mean to me.
when
You guys see
when
this,
it's
right?
open,
Yeah.
don't go
Lady,
full
I'm gonna
Malkovich,
actually fight
Hmm.
you.
just
Don't
maybe
go
go
full
like
Malkovich.
one and a bit, and then
You're
when it
welcome,
closes,
Michigan.
it'll then shoot you out.
I got a 10 anyway, so
Honestly,
it
you
doesn't
need to be lined up with it. You need to be
Oh,
lined up
I
with
see,
the
I
camera.
see.
No, you don't.
Otherwise,
I
it's
would-
not
I
gonna
would-
work. Dude, I
I would
tried
do-
it from this angle many times. Trust
I
me.
would do-
Just
I
get
would
lined
do-
up. Yeah,
I
there
would
you
do
go.
what
Well, that's what he
now
said.
go
Come on,
through.
and then
That's
it
what he
ma-
said.
Yeah, and then it pushes you. Yeah,
Now
and then
go.
jump. There you
There you
go.
Woo! Now I know you were talking to me.
Oh yeah.
Because I didn't know before.
Aw.
Oh, sorry, Momo.
Because
like talking, I'm like,
your
yeah,
voice aligned
line
with
up.
my playthrough, so I was like, oh, he was talking to me.
I forgot that you don't know that I'm watching.
I really just want to be kimono. That's all.
Who doesn't?
No.
Oh,
Whoa,
it is
what the
way
fuck?
over there.
I hate it. I hate that so much. Why?
Oh shit,
It's
too
way
far.
over there.
No,
I'm gonna
no,
go-
no. I
I'm gonna
jumped
go
by
Why
accident.
fishing.
did you excuse me? Hello? I was trying to put
Oh.
myself in a proper position. Y'all just got in the way.
To be fair, I didn't mean to.
I know. I'm just messing.
Not yet, anyway.
Oh, that would've been good,
no,
though.
Stop.
No.
Fuck.
No.
Like I said, I want to go fishing now just to prove that I can, destroy these fish.
What, catch a fish?
Yeah.
Oh,
No, just
I
to
got up
eat
to the
fish.
top. I did like a vert trick.
I'm gonna go
No.
eat some fish.
Is
Fucking
Lady
A.
an absolute?
Oh,
No, I went off.
Didn't see that.
Okay,
Lady
so it's
sent everyone.
not full send, but maybe
I see.
a
No.
little less than full send.
No, I got a
I got
pearl.
recourse. I got 10.
Firestorm
gonna
go
Do this
straight
one again. No,
three.
fuck.
I didn't hear you. What'd you say?
Go straight and 3.
And
7?
a little bit to the left.
No.
Straight and 3.
6?
Hey, you
4?
can't expect people to just go straight.
Nice.
Okay.
Oh.
4 yeets!
That would have been amazing.
Try it again.
Dang.
Oh,
Maybe a
I
little
keep-
less.
I hate this.
Yeah, maybe it was
Oh,
just
oh
smidgen.
God, I'm choking. Sorry.
Oh,
Again.
Damn, bruh.
Dude, you don't have to call me out like that.
Lol.
I gave you dinner.
Excuse me?
Nothing, no
You
comment.
heard me.
Welcome, Venus! Welcome to the team! Venus says hi,
All you
everyone.
need to do is like decrease your power a little bit, and it'll be right there.
a little bit high on the ramp.
There you go. Oh,
No.
oh.
It's hot in here.
A little
Yeah,
less.
yeah.
Little
Right
bit
in the
high on
end.
ramp.
Dude, I'm
hot.
stroking out, man. I'm stroking out.
Oh, you went too
Broke.
far down. Oh, no.
I bet you are. And you're out of time.
Dude,
Oh,
the thing
bruh.
is,
Correct.
Man, bruh.
You
I
don't
think
get you
I'm
that
actually
way
getting better at the game.
sometimes.
Oh,
10 behind. 10 behind.
Oh, where's that?
I'll give you 10
God.
behind. What?
thank you for the 43 months, Lady Rain!
My brother.
You would.
My dude.
My dude in Chrysler.
Oh my gosh. You broke it.
How much do you expect me to announce my anniversary?
You broke it.
Got me a fucking tweet.
Queen bud?
Fucking A.
I eat it when I should have eaten.
Nice, right?
Decide when it's gonna go and then I'm like, oh, somebody booty bumped me.
All I think of that is like the cartoons. Is like ting ting.
You mean chitty chitty bang bang?
No,
You did it, man.
I'm going down the hill.
Yeah, I'll jump you
cartoon.
up. Yeah.
Oh.
Ting tang.
Walla walla big bang.
I saw the witch doctor. The witch doctor was new.
It's also not a cartoon though.
Yeah, it's a cartoon.
Match the Pokemon.
There might be a cartoon.
How the
But
Pokemon?
it's not a cartoon.
Who knows? Right?
Prince, you
It's
got
basically a bunch of grown-ass adults with a fucking.
Rain has all the hacks.
Oh, fire! I feel that. I really do.
I
Womp womp.
That's how it got me. I was like 6. Yeah, 6.
Right
Shane
behind
was.
you.
Shane's winning.
Scared me, legitimately scared me.
You guys should full yeet to the left.
Or
I'll
right.
To the
fully
left.
eat you to the left.
Full set
Don't-
to the
don't
left,
tell
to
me
the
how to
right,
eat.
To the left, to the right.
Oh, Dream, you almost got me, bitch.
What do you mean? I went off the
Sorry.
course with a full yeet to the left.
I
Are
made
you
it.
talking about once you go over the hump?
No.
Yeah. Once you get over that hump, there ain't no
My
stopping you.
humps.
My lovely, my lovely, yeah.
lady jumps. My lovely lady jumps. My lovely lady lumps. is what I meant.
Ghiblis. Alright.
I got me a
Oh, I
fucking
went too
eagle.
hard again.
Oh fuck.
Dude, stop getting so hard.
I know.
I tried
it.
so hard. I got
She's
so
cheating.
trouble.
I'm
Oh,
not.
come
The
on.
fuck was that?
Prince.
I don't know. What?
Oh
Uh,
no!
See the far right.
Oh,
So you
my
can jump straight.
Where?
You can jump straight.
Oh,
You
God.
can jump
Okay.
over.
I jump straight all the time.
Okay, you can do that as well. Yeah.
Oh,
Just a tappy tap, like
Baby
maybe
boy.
one
Just
or-
tap.
tippity tap tap.
Are you too good
half
for
a
your
one.
home?
Just tap tap.
Get in
What
the
is that
hole.
from? You too good for
Just
your
tap
home.
Normally 18, right?
Yeah,
18
little
holes?
Happy Gilmore never hurt anybody.
Yes.
You
Mm.
baby.
No, this is
Mhm,
40 and
mhm.
older.
Oh my god, I'm still getting. You burned my butt? What?
No chance.
Dude,
No chance.
that's
I'm winning
such a
this.
sick burn.
No
Yes,
chance.
I
I'm winning this.
did.
Oh yeah, that ain't happening.
Not a chance.
Negative, good sir.
I found that hole.
What?
Well, it's not fair.
Darn
You-
You better run. Your booty's on
I
fire.
tried so hard. Oh no, I went the wrong way.
But in the end, it doesn't
I
even
got a
matter.
good run up. I got a good
Oh,
run up.
oh.
No.
I found the hole first, I think.
I fucking knew you'd do that.
Oh,
Fuck.
fuck me. I always forget which one this is.
Hey,
Yes.
if I mind if I die?
I had
You're
5
welcome.
strokes in the hole.
Thank you for hitting me, and even though I didn't fucking do anything, but okay.
Here, I'll push you up, Momo.
You're welcome.
Oh, never mind.
Stains
Sorry,
in
behind
the
me.
lead.
You sent me
Fuck.
so
Come on,
hard.
77.
Left,
Catch
right.
77.
I know. I know where to
Dream
go.
70.
Oh, okay.
From the nose ring.
No, you just want to come on
yeah.
behind you again.
Lady.
I'm out. I ran away.
What?
You sent me so far back.
Too hard. Like, whatever that means.
Lynch, you need to stop going too hard. Man. It's just, it's.
Slow it down. Oh, I went too hard.
Exactly.
I went too soft.
Everybody
needs to
She's gone. She's gone.
Alright,
No,
there
I'm
it
not
is.
sorry.
Okay, so it's that one over there, so I can jump. Oh, thanks.
No,
Shane.
lady.
A rare Shane quote.
You're an absolute heathen.
Yes,
Fuck, I
this
ended up
floor is
one
made
more
out of
rail
floor.
behind. Are you kidding me?
Firestorm. Do it. After and you.
Shane, what were you even talking
Firestorm.
about?
It's maybe like
little bit.
three and a bit.
There you go.
And when you're there, just
Very
watch out
observant, are we?
the hole.
Who the fuck knocked me around?
You want to go one and then quickly jump after. One and quick jump.
No, Fire, you're too close to that. Yeah, thank you. Now jump over the other two walls.
Hold on,
directly
I
to
can't.
your left.
I cannot see Jack.
Oh,
Oh, I ran out of time.
Right as the time runs out.
Yeah, this-
That's Toy Story
Over
meme.
those two walls, if you
Yeah,
tighten it
this
right,
hurts.
yeah.
This hurts.
Lady
When I'm-
beat me.
Me and Fire.
Shane won. Look at that.
No, lady beat me.
Ah,
I would have
I
won.
did.
it's because she was trolling everybody.
I
I
won a
had
piece of cupcake.
124 strokes. She had 130.
I would have won if it wasn't.
You're headed to bed, you said?
Heathen of a person.
I have
Trying to
to.
stop me from getting
I got
cold.
D&D in the morning.
Oh, good luck.
Alright.
Hell yeah.
Rain?
What, later?
Do you have it tomorrow night, Rain? Is tomorrow night your
Yes, I
D&D?
do.
Rain has it tomorrow night, and you have it tomorrow
Oh,
morning.
nice.
Which will
Mhm.
probably be right around the same time, maybe. No, never mind.
No.
Nope.
You will be asleep when I'm
12 hours apart.
Comes
Actually,
who's
I'll
the-
probably be at work while you're there.
Consent.
who's
Oh,
the-
I have it at 10:30 a.m., sweetie. That's in the middle of the night for you.
Is
Comes
there?
who's the dungeon master? Are you the dungeon master?
I know it's way
I
too
have-
early.
I have to work at 5:30.
There needs to be a
I
sound
see.
command for that.
Different of a time
You're
zone
6
that
hours
is.
behind, though. I think.
There needs to be a sound command for that, Rain.
Mono, are you
What?
the dungeon master?
When people consent to being bit versus running away. There's ooh or
I'm still not
something.
even sure is it even spelled right? Is that consent? I don't know.
Yeah.
I think so.
Consent? I don't know.
Mm.
Sounds tricky.
That was Momo.
Dirty, dirty.
Uh-oh, what?
Or Bill. Loudspeaker?
Bro, you got a single hose hookah? Is that what you got going on?
It is a single hose hookah, correct.
I'm in love with that. Alright. My cursor's not in the game.
Oh,
There we
that
go.
was
Oh, this one always messes me
Hit
up.
the
It's so
wall!
bad, this first one here. I went way too slow. Shiza.
Shoo. I
Uh,
bounced over this
I'm
time.
watching Kimono play on my TV
Momo.
as well.
Yes.
Are you
Which is
dungeon
fun.
master for tomorrow?
So she,
Okay,
she got,
so it'll be
she
like
got-
3 a.m. So you'll still
got
be in your
the big
section
screen.
when I get up for work.
Scary big screen.
Jump over it.
Wait,
it's
I
right
can
in front of
barely
me.
hear you. I don't know
Oh.
why.
I need the angle. Oh.
I almost said my
goodness.
name and then I couldn't hear the rest.
Oh, you gotta
Are you
adjust
dungeon
the.
master? Are you dungeon master? for
Oh,
tomorrow
it's
for
so
D&D?
good.
No.
Oh, okay.
Blair. What
Blair.
time is it for you tomorrow, Rain?
It'll be 3 a.m.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
when you start.
What'd
Yeah,
you say?
I'll
3:30.
be-
3:30.
Yeah.
Oh, what'd you say his name was?
Oh, this one's not so good for me either. Oh my goodness.
She
His
didn't-
name?
I'm so
Yeah,
bad
the
at
guy
this
that's
one.
doing the dungeon master.
His name
know
is
him.
John Cena.
It's a
Sorry.
Dutch, it's a
You
Dutch,
see-
it's
you
a
see
Dutch
Blair.
boy.
See me.
Oh,
I'm a player.
IRL.
Can't hear.
It's IRL.
bruv.
Oh, okay, my bad.
Oi,
It
bruh.
isn't IRL. It isn't IRL,
Wait,
but
bro.
Okay, well it's close
Bruv.
enough.
it's a Dutch guy. It's a Dutch guy. You wouldn't know him.
He's
You
a
wouldn't know
Dutchy
him, innit?
guy.
Like, no need to fucking jump on a question.
I just assumed.
No,
it
we're gonna
was
jump on you
IRL
just like
with
a
mine.
balloon.
Pounce.
I mean, who jumps on a
oh
balloon?
my.
I do.
Oh
Oh. Oh.
That was a good one. That was a good one.
Oh.
Is that a real movie? Or was that the.
Bruh,
It-
is
It
Momo.
was us, yes.
Oh,
I feel like
bruh.
I should finish watching Food Wars now.
Oh, yes, you
yes, I
have
should too.
to.
Dude, if you've never
haven't
finished
watched
Food
it.
Wars, you need to.
Yeah, I haven't
haven't watched
finished it. I think I'm still in
It's
the
the
first
best.
season.
Oh my god.
I
like,
have to
everybody
eat
always
when I
has that,
watch
oh my
it,
god,
though.
but
Talk about
To be
shows
eating
that
food. It's just, you get so hungry watching that in multiple ways.
about
It's
shows
like,
and
I gotta
programs.
eat.
it's like, oh my
The-
god, my clothes
is-
just burst off because the food was so good.
Has
Oh.
anyone seen the new program Shogun?
No.
Not yet. No,
No.
I haven't.
Okay. Fair enough. I was gonna actually ask to see how it went, like how the program was. That was all.
Please roll me back.
I didn't. Hold on. Let's see if I can.
Zelensky.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'll have to go through. That's
Oh, mama.
roll
How many
hard.
how many oohs are we gonna get in
Are
this
you
chat?
serious? Do you see where I'm sitting? I'm like right on the edge of the hill.
Oh, I saw.
Not enough. Never enough.
Aye.
Never enough oohs?
No. Can't have enough oodles.
Aura.
Yeah, exactly.
No.
You good? Fucking no, babe. You better not have no. Okay. Absolute not bend. Stay the fuck away from me. You bastard.
Nothing like hearing him say that to Lady.
No,
I'll take a double bogey.
you're a fucking absolute heathen.
She is a heathen. She's my heathen.
Burn in Christ.
Mm-hmm.
You're getting pushed.
Fucking pushed. Pushed.
Push.
It's not even the word to explain it.
Push
Well, that was an attempt to help, and it did not go as well as I thought it would.
Dream, all you gotta do is go through the
Go over the wall.
side.
Don't go for the
Just
circle
stay.
hole. Oh wow, but don't. Yeah, you don't have to do that though. You can just go over the wall.
There you go, man.
Dream, just dream, and you'll be fine.
Dreams.
Sorry, I had to run out a little bit.
Fucking watching you. Alright? I'm watching you.
Him third.
I might be in second.
All of you guys is like 3, 3, 3, 4, 3, 3, 12.
Oh, this one is tough if you don't get it just right. Yep, just like that.
One more time.
I just shouted that as loud as I did, and it's after 2. I should be quiet.
Uh-oh, Shane.
Your neighbors
Oh,
too.
oh no, the Scottish police will join.
No, but I have neighbors.
Actually, do they sound like that?
Where
Where do they go?
to you?
Oh,
You licked yourself. Oh, you needed a bath.
I'm just gonna go this way.
Okay, that's not the way.
I apologize. I'm gonna get my.
It's always
my
splits.
volume a little bit lower.
it is. What did I just-
Everybody.
And Momo.
My way.
Momo. Mm.
What?
Oh, look out,
Ooh.
Pokemon Community Games. I'm coming for you.
Oh, I shouldn't have jumped.
Everybody.
Womp womp.
La di da di da. That's old internet.
I'm
right
about
there.
to fall into a food coma.
You mean,
Oh, that's the best kind. What are you
Well,
eating?
He's talking like IRC
Uploader.
days back when we were trading videos on that.
No.
Yeah.
Top loader, dancing in the moonlight.
What kind of food are you eating, Six?
Everybody's feeling warm and tired.
I was I was doing
It's a good
Homestar
song.
Runner.
Email.
I'll fucking eat your meal.
Email.
No.
Oh, Michigan, we were on the
Yo.
same path here, pal. I got you.
Yeah, hit the block.
Womp womp.
Womp,
Yeah,
womp,
boy.
womp,
This is
Wow.
why I joined.
Ah, what the
because
fuck?
of this game.
womp, womp,
What the-
womp, 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 womp,
Can
Hi,
someone
lady.
hit me in?
Jacketed potatoes again? Oh.
Shane, hit me in.
Oh, the
No, no, Shane said
potatoes.
screw you.
I just wanted to bring up the Homestar Runner chart toward. Yeah, okay. Anyway.
Yeah.
Damn
Mhm.
it.
As you do.
Yeah, I'm gonna win this one.
I did. I was.
He was a
am
dragon.
close to
with
one.
one big arm.
Go
Full
to-
speed
go
of the
to-
Jolly Rancher.
Mommy.
Sometimes you can jump through the donut, other times you can't.
Whoa.
Oh, more the gravy train.
What a kid.
Every time.
Some of us want to get in the hole.
A wild Lolito. Lolito.
How's it going, superstar?
Lolito. Oh, I hit the
If
wrong
can jump through
ball.
that hole and like bounce off the water,
Lady tried to fucking hit me.
Poke catch. If you're catching Pokemon, poke catch.
Lady.
It never works.
How you like me now, bitch? Eh?
Ooh.
You like me now?
Fight
Where's
words.
fucking go?
You know, my dad once taught me something. When he was building my bike, he told me
To flush.
not to rap. How do you like me now?
Fucking
How you like me
I think he
now?
ruined my rap career.
Are you okay, Splint?
No.
No, I'm not.
Oh yeah.
Nice.
Sorry.
Everybody, have
He's
fun.
hanging out with us. Do you think he's okay? I
Good night,
mean...
everybody.
He
Good
ruined
night,
my
Mama.
rap
Good
career
night,
by
good
telling
night.
me that I
Sweet
wasn't supposed to say,
dreams.
"How do you
Good
like me now?"
night.
Sayonara.
Alright.
Hello?
Lady, I'm glad that you were listening, though. I appreciate that. I do.
More ooze?
You
Jeez.
heard my
All
story.
the ooze.
Name Mama. Yeah, of course. Every time y'all do Nani, I think Mix is in chat. His says that when he pops in.
Yeah.
It's so funny.
Numero
Right?
uno.
Oh.
Okay,
Well,
please stop
someone
hitting me. I don't want to go
Yeah.
over there.
I didn't mean
What's
to
the
hit
deal with
you.
that?
I know
Right.
you didn't.
Oh, I got to
but
start from the fucking back again, man. What's the deal with that?
Started from the bottom, now we're here.
Moo.
Started through the
No, I
donut
really
and now
wish
we're
I
all here.
wasn't.
Bless
I
you.
hit it
Night
too
night, lovelies.
far.
Night night,
Mama.
Mama. Thank you for playing with us. You're beautiful
That was
and
really-
wonderful. We appreciate
I
it.
had the
Oh my god, I
opportunity
need
of
to
getting that
spread
Well,
Two
take care.
manage democracy across the universe soon. What?
More whoop?
What?
That sucks nuts nuts.
What are you up to? Shade. Shade.
Where's Lady?
What
Is
are
Lady
you
in?
doing?
Yes, I am.
Lady's harding.
She's so
Fine.
in.
Good for that.
Dream,
Well.
you're the only one who's
I'm in the hole like every time.
Hey, yo.
Ladies
That's
calling us
Always
out.
in the hole.
Oh,
Okay.
you
Good,
missed
good,
again.
bruh. It's
So,
2.5.
I get it. I get it. A little bit
That's
like that.
I'm playing-
Dream. 2.5
Oh,
shots.
2 for Super Earth and
You
Democracy.
have a little too much
How do
lube
you
on it.
say it? Helldivers?
Oh my god.
Mm.
Dream a little bit too much lube.
What?
Just back
I
it
haven't
up.
watched anybody play that yet.
I love Helldivers.
You don't know.
There you go.
Yeah,
Dude, that was nothing but net right there.
dude.
I hear
Okay,
good things
so
about
the
it.
last 3 Fridays ago, we had that
Full on.
one
Full on swish.
playthrough of the forest where I got it. I hopped directly in the hole. I couldn't believe it.
Oh
Like,
my
whoa,
God.
Was it Easter? Or
No,
I
that
want to
was-
watch later.
Sorry, it was...
You want to watch later tonight?
Dude,
Maybe?
I'm so bad at this. I'm so
Wait.
bad at this one because
Are you
have
gonna
no
stream
idea
it
what
later?
the Fook is going on.
Come on, oh.
What's up,
Yes,
guys?
Don't
dreams.
point me going.
Hey, Dream, guess what?
Dreams.
I mean, no point in you going.
Yeah, I'll stream it just for you. Aw.
I mean, you don't want
Oh,
me to
wait,
hit
make
you
sure you're awake. I may not be
Oh, yeah.
awake.
Damn, I went right in.
I can hit you if you want.
Giggity. I went right in.
Like, Zach does the same thing. What is this song? Dreamweaver.
I'm sorry, have you never heard Dreamweaver
I believe you
before?
can get
Apparently he has it.
Jesus, and your name is Dreamweaver. Okay.
Yeah.
Dream.
Alright, hold on. I'll
He
share
only
it
knows of the
shortly.
software
Yeah,
by
that song's been
Adobe
stuck in my
called
head every time I
Dreamweaver.
see the name on the screen.
Dang, dude.
So, I know of the software. That's
No.
fine.
Yeah.
I know a different logo, but I didn't even realize. I didn't think there was a song. And Zach keeps on doing it, and I'm like, what the fuck, Dreamweaver? Like I do it to like, I don't know, anyone that,
Did-
like.
Did you
has
never
rhyming.
watch Wayne's World? It was in Wayne's World.
Listen to this right now.
Okay.
Like,
sex.
what?
Yeah, never heard of it.
I'm sobering up, guys. How
Oh,
dare you
good
guys?
lord.
It's your fault. Drink, mother. Did I say something?
No.
Nice shot.
No, you
Yep,
said a lot of
that's
Louise songs.
Perfectly on
Yes.
point. Give me 2 seconds. I need to listen to this song.
Kitty Rabbit.
Oh, yeah.
Flint's going down the fudge slide.
No, he loves
Wow.
going down the fudge.
Hey, now. Hey.
I know.
He's
a lot
trying to
about
catch up to
it.
Michigan.
I know a lot about
Hmm.
Oh yeah, it's not
Michigan
going
knows
to.
all about the fudge
For
slide.
you.
Please get a hollow one. Please get a hollow one. Please get a hollow one.
You're not going to.
Wow, just straight up shoot him down.
Oh,
Oh,
or
too
the
hard.
whole one. Come on.
You're not going to.
Denied.
Not worthy.
Denied.
Shamed it.
Love you guys.
Ah, give me 4 things.
God damn.
I got a
I need
hole
to
in
light
4. You know what that means?
More coals for my hookah, but I'm too lazy to get up.
Bro, just don't set your
Bro.
house on fire while you're doing it, okay?
I'm pretty sure he's educated.
Yeah, he knows how to handle it. Hookah.
Sure.
I know how to handle
Sorry,
it.
no, I'm like saying that's true. 150 off hole 12. Nope, that's not the way to do it.
Yeah, that's what she said.
Hey yo.
That's not the way to do it either.
Damn, I went straight in
Maybe
the hole.
part of it. There we go. Yeah.
My cat literally is
Some
right
par
next to
3,
me.
I'm gonna get it in 5.
Yeah, Splint's my cat right now. She's storing. I think she got it from me.
That might be true. Dude, okay, I'm not trying to shame you at all, but the moment you fall asleep,
I die.
Yep, that happens with me too. Dalton actually has to like move me to get me to stop.
I didn't bother him at all. I was just like, fucking whatever, he can do that.
Yeah, Dalton just nudges me.
I wasn't sleeping in the same bed.
Well, he
Mine just lays on top
the
of my
first-
chest and he
Well,
gives
the
me
first
many
day you
purrs.
were. The first day you were. And then
He's a
That's
good
first
cuddler.
day I was.
I wish.
Are
Mine
you
was.
sure? Are you sure?
Right now,
Puddles.
he's hanging out by the radiator.
You know what you guys do on your own time is okay with me. I'm not-
Radiator. It is
Yeah.
radiator.
we read the
Radiator.
newspaper.
It
the
could be
Radiator.
radiation or
Radiator.
Bro.
Radiator.
Radiating.
Radiation. Radiator.
It should be
Data or data?
radiator. You're
It's
a
rad.
radiator.
Data.
This is not rad. I will tell you that much. Fucking.
Oh no! Don't fall off again!
Not the edge. Let me on
Radiator.
the edge.
Learn to use the ball correctly.
Go
Radiator.
but to the
Heat.
left. Oh.
Radiator. I see you
Jeez.
arguing with me. I have your camera right there. I see you. I see that anger in your face.
Like,
God.
Ready?
Cat,
come on.
baby,
I have a fun of a time. Oh.
baby. He looks like my
Have a good
baby.
time.
He or she.
I swear to God.
Cool.
I'll be showing up at the end, mofo.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
I don't need you.
What? I hit the point.
He's not like he's the cuddly one,
Okay,
but
no
not
thanks.
to the point where he wants to be
He's
near
a
me.
cuddly one.
Like
I'm
that.
over the edge.
He's just close.
Oh,
All
you
the
hear me doing your
cuddles.
voice? Yeah, when I do the voice, my cat looks. He's like, "Are you channeling me?
okay?
Hi, good boy. You just looking at me? You wanna come cuddle? Come on."
I am
The
highly,
use of a fucking bottle.
I am highly drunk. Holy shit.
I mean,
vitamins.
How are you highly drunk?
Yeah.
Are you
what number are you on?
14% alcohol, and I drink once a week.
He had a
What
unit.
number are you on? 1 or 2?
One.
He had a unit.
Ah, you sound like me.
It's
Lightweight.
okay. It's
It's
okay. that you-
13% and it's huge.
It's okay that you drink like
guys,
it.
no,
Lightweight.
no shaming of somebody.
I'm a
else.
lightweight.
No, I apologize.
Hey,
You are.
We're back in a minute.
cheap drunks are the best, you know? They don't cost much money.
Well, I didn't really have to
Wish I
buy
was a
any
cheap
alcohol if I
girl.
really
I
wanted.
don't. I don't drink
At
at all. I'm
You're
super
in-
cheap.
Sucks.
At least you know you're
Get me a soda.
So that
You're
Four
the
Loko
best
was
because you're healthier than the rest of us.
That Four
Well,
Loko was.
Almost
I literally
all
just
in
got
one.
I got my liver test back and it said awesome. It's weird.
It
Sure.
said, bro, sweet.
Bruh.
No, I get my liver
What's mine say?
checked all the
Awesome.
time because I'm very.
No, like that Four Loko was from like 4 days ago, and I'm just now.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say it was from 4
Bruh.
years ago.
Yeah,
Cat
totally
and
40 years
focus.
ago. I wasn't even born
Kitty.
yet. My mom just got me
No,
one because
Pet
she was like,
the
Four,
cat.
not 44.
Pet the
Dreamweaver, come
Pet
back,
the
dreams.
cat.
yeah, I was selling for 4 years ago when I was 28.
Dream, I'm gonna kick your
Meow.
ass.
Pet
4
the
years
cat.
ago, I did
She's gonna
it.
bite you.
I can't reach her.
Scratch her head.
I'll be
All
right
right,
back.
you guys lurking and listening. Sunday is Stardew Valley, by the way.
Prompt
Sunday,
your
Sunday,
baby.
Sunday.
Man,
There we go. Thank you for giving me your hit.
Riches.
Where are we? Where are we? Where are we?
I'm giving
Bye.
Brooke scratches.
Probably early though.
Hold on.
Go this way.
I'll be there in spirit.
Yeah.
Oh,
Unless I'm too tired.
Monkey, is it dinner time for you tonight? I don't remember.
Nailed it.
Mhm.
By the way,
It's always
what
dinner time.
is That Dreamweaver
Yeah, I'm
song?
about to say
You don't
every
remember
day is
feeding
dinner.
I give him wet food every other day.
Good.
Oh.
He has dry food always available, but wet
Oh,
food is
yeah.
every other day.
Absolute. Sorry.
She actually gets baby food sometimes. Like legit, like chicken baby food.
Cause she's a baby.
Because she's a geriatric bitch.
Oh, don't
She's surviving. Leave her alone.
don't be mean.
She's
to the
ancient.
kitty cat.
I
She's
think-
ancient
If
and
you
surviving.
actually saw how she
I'm
acted,
listening. It's not
you
just
would
that
agree
song.
with me.
It was in the movie.
Maybe we should call Jackson
never
Galaxy to
call
your
a
home
cat,
so you can, you know.
Couldn't recall it. Oh,
That cat
There ain't
deserves to
anything
slap
you can
you
fix
a
with
little
her.
bit.
She's too
No,
fucking
she'd be like,
stubborn.
she's old. That's the problem.
She's 15.
Shite did I
She is
Oh,
literally
I
15
have-
years old.
I have a tenant upstairs with a 20-year-old cat. I'm like
Oops.
so jealous of him. I hope my cat lives that long.
Do
Yeah,
you know how to
I mean,
golf?
Well, cats do tend.
Love
to.
yeah,
you.
I mean, Brooke is 15. My first cat died at 12.
nailed it, Splints.
Yeah,
Can I
my
just
cat's
say-
only.
With the
My
movie?
cat's. Yeah, my
I've had
cat's only
Brooke
5.
more than half
so
of my
that's good.
life now.
Is
Oh, my-
everyone here a cat person?
Yeah.
I'm a
I like
cat
cats.
and dog person, but I never had a dog.
Animals.
When I moved out of
I love
my parents, my
dog
parents
person.
replaced me with a dog.
I'm
I
a dog
was
person. That
I like
has a cat.
dogs, but they're too much work. You have to take
Are
them
you
for
an
walks
only
and clean
kid,
up their poop.
Fire?
No,
What's that?
I love
Are you an
dogs.
only
I'm not
kid?
home enough for a fucking
No,
dog.
I am not.
Like seriously, I'm not home enough.
Are you just the youngest then, or?
No, I'm the oldest. I'm the oldest. I moved out. My brother and sister are still at home,
Oh my
Yeah,
god, that was.
legendary people.
and
Like I
No.
can understand, like maybe like a youngest child moving out, not
no,
crazy
no,
to
they got
me.
they got a dog after I moved out, like immediately, like a month or two later.
Because you would have kept saying who let the dog
You
out.
were the one that
constantly.
was keeping them from having the energy for a dog.
I know, right?
Really. Okay.
Right? You moved out, they're like, we miss him so much, we're getting a dog.
I'll
Yeah.
share my opinion on this, which is I don't mind cats, but they are very, very temperamental. Whereas,
Yeah, they are.
Whereas
My cat's
alright,
not
but
temperamental.
also
My
it's
cat's
kinda
Not all of them.
2 seconds. Whereas, if you're
2 seconds.
if you're just a dog person, then they're always gonna be grateful for everything that you fucking do. For
Unless
them.
they're a chihuahua.
But they're not gonna.
My
naturally
dog got kicked
like,
out because
You,
of a
you,
chihuahua.
you could love your cat to pieces, and the moment you do something wrong, they will snatch the face off you.
Not
Are
my
you
cat.
kidding me?
Really?
Yeah.
Not my cat. My cat will slap
No.
me. Like I don't get good.
Just
sleep
depends on the
because of my
cat. You get a if you have a good relationship with your pet, you don't have that problem.
Yeah,
Very
my
true.
cat. Has
Yeah, my
never...
cat's really well behaved.
Motherfucker, are you
My
kidding me?
cat is needy when I'm sleeping. And that's about
There's-
it.
There's probably more deaths from cats than there are dogs because cats just smother you when you're sleeping.
They
I
can.
think you're
That's
making
some
up.
weird ass old
Oh, I
world
see. I see
knowledge.
that.
I think
I
you're
see
making
that
up
cat.
shit.
Up.
but,
Yeah, love bite. Love bites. Get her. Get her.
Like, I'll be honest with you,
Dude, I've
there's
had
no...
cats my entire life. Never has one tried to
Love-
Yeah,
smother me
she'll
to
bite me and then
Aw.
immediately lick. Yeah.
What I mean is, like,
Yeah,
see when you're
that's
sleeping.
that's love.
What I mean is,
Yeah.
like,
Whereas
when you're
the
sleeping,
other
cat-
one,
And a wink.
he will
You
bite
see that
you, and
wink?
he will bite you like he fucking means it, cause he's
No,
an asshole.
Lady,
He
your
doesn't know the
cat,
difference.
lady, your cat winked at you. It
What I
was
mean-
a sign of, like communicating to you. And
What I'm
it was-
meaning is that, like, cats will, like, see when you're sleeping, they will naturally protect 100%, but they will also sleep on your faces, which.
Oh yeah.
I don't know
makes
what,
like,
cats.
smothering.
No, hold on. You're getting
Like,
mixed
never
up with
had someone
cougars.
smother me
Yeah,
in-
cougars are
Hey yo.
No.
Hey yo.
No, so Brooke, she does lay on our pillows, but she's always laid on a pillow next to my head. Ever
My
since I
my,
got
my
her.
cat does that too. He loves to sleep on my head and on my chest and
Yeah.
So she
Well,
doesn't
yeah.
sleep on us. Well, she does on the boyfriend, but
She's like, I'm gonna
he's
hurt,
softer
murder
than I
you.
am,
Okay.
and also much more of a furnace.
He's softer?
He is softer than me.
Wriggles.
That's cute.
My gosh.
Hello,
Wiggle,
mirror.
wiggle, wiggle.
Oh, wow.
Wiggles is the
Brooke,
sexiest
come
man
on,
alive.
Hello.
Oh my god, did I actually make it all the way over there? What the
Brooke
fuck?
loves you.
Hello.
Right?
Oh, sorry, I kind of pissed her off. So
Yeah, I'm the favorite.
Hello there.
Hello there.
you're not the favorite. I'm mom.
I play her.
She's always loyal to me.
Don't.
Puddles is currently rubbing on my leg.
Dream, I hit you on purpose.
do.
Because
I
he's
did.
just an attention whore.
I am an attention
See your
whore. Wait,
pussy's
what?
rubbing
No.
on your leg.
You
Paul
your
was
pussy on
rubbing
your
on
leg?
his leg.
What?
I ain't got no
The
pussy.
male pussy was
Hey, yo.
rubbing
The
on his leg.
mussy? The
What
mussy?
males
The
have
musty.
pussies? Sorry.
What?
Oh. I didn't do it.
Wiggles,
it.
how are you?
I'm confused.
I'm gonna
Very
like
good.
some
How
cool.
about you, sir?
I am very well, buddy, very well. We're
Hey buddy,
playing
how are you, buddy?
Which,
Yeah, here.
Okay, I'm backing out.
So,
Sorry.
Apparently, I am Mama
that was
Fuzz.
too many holes.
yeah.
We're playing golf with friends if anybody wants to join.
I got
When I showed Dalton that I got Monty a toy, he told
So-
Monty, he's like, Monty Fuzz, Mama Fuzz got you a toy. I'm like, what the fuck? So no, I guess I'm Mama Fuzz.
Mama
Wiggles.
fuzz.
We
Mama
were
say,
playing
Mama
golf with friends, which
Mama go, Mama lee.
inadvertently means that we're having loads of
Wait, why is everyone
balls
leaving?
and holes jokes.
I guess they're done.
Pussies.
Well, I was too many holes.
Sorry, I didn't mean to use that term. I meant to say they're a bunch of weaklings.
No, I left.
No,
because
They
I
lost
wanted
too many times, so they left.
Actually, they're a bunch of
No,
mussies.
hold on. I left
Pussies, that's
because
right,
I
we came
want.
up with that word just now. Yeah.
Wiggles showed up and they're like, oh, it's chatting now.
Yeah,
I'm a
I
Michigan.
have that effect on
No
people.
more games,
I'm a
chatting.
Michigan.
No, am I a
I've been
pussy?
known to clear a room before.
I'm a Michigan.
No, I just wanted to
Apparently.
rub his
So
head.
much want drinks. Wiggles, guess what
Oh, fine. Fine.
started back up like maybe 3 weeks ago.
Oh, you poor splits in a room by himself.
Okay.
Smoking cigarettes?
I just want to chat.
Yeah, I'm done. I'll stay in chat though. Okay.
Oh my god, it's Gina. I was like, who? I was looking at my thing. I'm like, who the hell is Stoked Pampika? And I realized it's my friend Gina.
Oh.
That's on you.
She changes her name all the time.
Mhm.
Don't you love that?
Excuse me.
When people change their name nonstop.
To be fair, it was just dumb.
Should be her.
Her username was dumb. DUMB.
Really? Wow.
Yes.
Yeah, I've known some people that have weird usernames like that, like dummy.
Mhm.
Lipstick color. Jesus, that's
Thank you. It's wearing off now already though, but yeah, thank you.
Now, Dalton
I thought he was
is
talking about me.
Das's mom.
Hi.
Yes.
You
put my
can't
lipstick
stay
on.
in chat because you're a bad man. Saying you can't stay in chat?
So
He
Wiggles,
is in
you've been
chat.
there in your new position
I'm so
for
confused.
a month,
almost
right?
one. Yep.
How's it going?
Ooh.
It's going fucking amazing. It's,
Good.
Really
Glad
is.
to hear
It
that.
really is.
I'm with with you.
The biggest thing that I feared was because I've been a colleague to some of these people for so long.
Right. They would not see you as a leader.
Can I stop you? Can I stop
Hush,
you?
Aiden. Aiden.
No, the reason
It's
why
not
I
about you.
no, I understand that, but the reason why I want to
It's
interject,
still not.
but I know, but the reason why I want to interject is just for one small thing. It's very, very difficult
Yes,
to
you
go
have a
from a
small thing.
position. It's very, very difficult to go from a position that you were, where you know all the colleagues, to then being the manager of the colleagues, because then they're like, well, you were a friend, but now you're a manager. So then, like, what are you going to be? Are you going to be a manager, or are you going to still remain a friend?
Our industry is a little bit unique because I mean we're all professionals, right?
It's also not. It's not that hard.
I'm not your buddy, friend.
At the end of the day, it's we even with me at the helm, we still all have the same common goal, is to please our customers and accomplish the tasks that we need to do.
All right, fucking Mr. CP. Like
Yo, careful with the acronyms.
That's the most,
Don't worry, bro.
Oh no.
That's the most managerial fucking thing I've ever heard. It's like, oh, we still want to please our customers, but you know, we've got a goal to achieve.
But that's what it is. That's what it's always been. That's all. The biggest thing that's so the goals didn't change. It's just the person at the helm did, you know. So
No, sorry, I'm seeing Kimono shake her
If
head.
you've ever been on a sailing ship, a
I'll be
sailing
quiet.
vessel,
I'll be quiet.
you'll understand that people
No,
who
you're
know
fine.
how to steer, people who know how to change sails,
Yeah.
always know how to do that. It doesn't matter if they're the leader;
Yeah.
they're just allowed
Right.
to do it.
But it is it is nice. It's nice to have
What do I have to do?
cooperation. It's nice to have
Hmm.
I've already made some positive changes and already seeing effects of the changes, and it's
Yeah, because you came up through the ranks, right? So you know what
Yeah.
your people want. So
Right.
as you make changes, you're like, I'm making the changes my people want.
Right.
Right?
Right.
So that makes it look better for you. It makes it look better for them. Everybody feels good.
I
And
totally
on top
agree
of
with
that,
Glenn.
This
You
March,
tried to win away Michigan. You tried.
March was March was our record month on the books in 15 years.
Okay.
What do you do?
Profit wise or productivity?
That's awesome.
Both. Both
Both?
invoice,
Wow.
invoice,
Okay.
and invoice and profit.
So
Nice.
I
I've
work
got a
for
little bit of
an
a
engineering
question
firm,
for that.
a testing.
Very
firm.
true.
We
Little
break
bit of a
shit for
question
it.
for that, which
They break
is
shit for a living.
Going back to what you previously said, you know, about kind of being part of the guys, and then now it's like you're now a manager or like the overseer of everything like that. It's very difficult from.
Okay, guys. How is your Friday night going? Now that, golf is over and everybody's chatting away in Discord, I'll talk to stream for a few minutes directly, and then I'll probably call it. So, what are y'all up to? Anything fun, exciting? How's your weekend? What do you got planned? I think I'm gonna be a nerd and watch some WrestleMania this weekend because I'm a nerd. And I hope to work on some projects, but we'll see how that goes. Take care, everyone. I'm still tinkering with my TBA flashcards. Oh, nice. Oh, yes, the new wrestling is going on this weekend. Yes. WrestleMania. 2 day, 5 hours each. Yeah, oh my god, yeah. I don't know if I could watch 5 hours. Because unless I'm working on a project, which might be actually a really good time for me to work on one of the websites I need to. I gotta like work on one of those. And watch some wrestling at the same time. That'd be like 10 hours that I can do that. So if I actually stayed and watched it, that's 10 hours of work I could get done. Maybe that's a good plan, because I'm a multitasker. So that's 5 hours or 10 hours I'll commit to working on something. Maybe some Stardew Valley? Or some Genshin, or some Star Rail. It's also tempting. So many games, never enough time, so many projects. So yeah, I literally have like 5 websites I want to be working on. And no time. And I have a 3-piece painting set for IRL, a 3-piece painting set for you guys, and another painting I need to be working on. When am I gonna get the time? Never. Never, never, never. I see you sticking your tongue at me. And Firestorm meeping. But yeah. Sorry that I muted in Discord. I just felt like I wanted to talk directly to chat for a little bit. Real quick. Because it's, you know, stream things stuff. But yeah. I definitely am trying to figure out when I want to start the Gengar and the Mewtwo and the Umbreon painting that I have not started yet. Thank you, Shane. Thank you for the loves. I don't know yet. Won't be this weekend. So, if anything this weekend, I did tell the girls I would try to play some Stardew Valley with them on Sunday, but it'll probably be early. Like, probably around 3 to 5 o'clock at the latest, because WrestleMania starts at 7. So I might get a couple hours in of stream on Sunday doing that and say hi to you guys. Wiggles, thank you so much.
Already awesome community.
Oh, thank you, Wiggles. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. I appreciate it. I appreciate it, Wiggles. Sorry for disappearing. Thank you. But yeah. You guys are awesome. Thank you for being here. Thank you for listening. Thank you for lurking and hanging out tonight. I'm trying to think of what else is coming up. I don't know. I might be rearranging Discord soon. Just to give you guys a heads up. I might be doing some changes in Discord. Some channel rearranging. Some new stuff. We'll see. I'm not gonna tell you. I'm not gonna tell you yet. You'll just have to wait and see. It might be a surprise. You might be interested, you might not be interested. So, we'll see how that goes. But yeah. Anything else you're up to this weekend, guys? I might get some sushi. I think about sushi like every weekend. That or pizza. So, which one should I get? Should I get sushi or pizza this weekend? Which one would you get? Sorry, I'm fidgeting with this little cat thing. Because it's cute and it's adorbs and I can fidget with it. But yeah. Thank you for hanging out. I appreciate you guys. Thank you for the subs. Thank you for the 3 months, Wiggles. Thank you for all the hypes, the loves, the games tonight. And I will catch you guys on the flip side. So I will see you around. See you Sunday. Nico, nee. Yep. Good night, everyone. Thank you for tolerating us. Of course, always. You guys are wonderful. I had a wonderful night. We started early tonight, Wiggles. We started really early. We started like 7:30 my time. So we've been going at it for about 2.5 hours tonight. So I'm just sleepy. It's a long week. But yeah. I will talk to you guys in Discord. Good night, everyone. Feel free to join Discord if you want. Good night. Bye.